finally get to the second day. We'll see them in the semi-finals tomorrow. But of course today, as always on Pro League Finals Weekend, Season 10, Season X. It's all quarterfinals, all best of threes. Here comes the next one.
I'd say we're very excited to just play. We've worked very hard. We just want to sort of play and show what we're made of. Just enjoy it while we're doing it. We prepared for this event by working with our analyst Jack and our coach Gig, just looking into how the teams play, looking at their strats, looking at just going into depth, making sure we're prepared for each team and whoever we play. I feel very confident going into this event. I feel like we can win the whole thing. We've never played any of the teams here, but I feel like we're prepared enough to be successful. My goal for this tournament is to win. Anything else is a failure for me.
Our next quarterfinalists, they are Navi! For quarterfinal number 2, Navi! Congratulations, guys. Welcome to the Pro League Finals. This is who they have to beat.
Playing in front of a big crowd's fine. Like we've played in front of crowds smaller than this, but it's always just like a hype factor playing in front of a big crowd. Hearing them cheer when you win a round is amazing. So yeah, we're really excited to play in front of a Japanese audience. I think it's great that we're the second team to represent ANZ. ANZ doesn't get that much exposure. Fnatic's obviously the big dogs of ANZ, so I think it's amazing that we get a chance to represent our home country. I think the key to win is to take every loss as a learning experience and to gain experience from that and to grow as players and as a team. R6 is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So yeah, so we're just going to take it one step at a time. Our goal for this tournament is to gain experience and just have a great time in general. We've never been here before, we're not expecting too much.
Welcome their opponents, Wildcard! Oh, we have a UK Aussie thing going on here. It's going to be a barn burner. Here it comes, quarterfinal number 2. Let's see who makes it through to tomorrow's semis. Good luck, Wildcard and Navi!
Brand new faces all around. No more familiar faces, none of that. Wildcard and Navi are in. Wildcard have never made it to a Pro League Finals. Navi was in Challenger League last season, and here they are. I think specifically Navi, a lot of people go up and ask, is it too late for me to start playing and grinding to get into Pro League? Navi proves it. that you can make it to the top and play the biggest stages in Rainbow Six and Wildcard as well, even in a region that is so small and gets so little exposure compared to everything else. They're still here and they're still going strong.
This is a battle of underdogs. Both of these teams came from very much humble beginnings, but both of them have since then become their national champions. Na'Vi has won the UK Premiership twice, and Wildcard have also won the Six Oceanic Cup, which was the national tournament just earlier this year, beating out Fnatic 2-0. So both of these teams have taken that step. It's only the natural progression to come here and face each other in a Pro League finals.
And it's just a matter of time of when Na'Vi and later on Giants is gonna make the big lands and perform big, because there's the pool of people that they play against are what we consider to be the absolute best in the world. And if you continuously play against them all the time, then you're gonna rise with them. So I don't even think it's fair to call Na'Vi an underdog anymore. The way that they've progressed and how strong they are now, and the performance that we see against other really strong teams, they look like an absolute top contender, without a doubt.
Yeah, and the second half of the online season definitely proved it. Na'Vi came storming through, Empire faltered, G2 faltered, Vitality faltered as well, and this is how we see them. Even Giants getting so close. The last Playday, things could have really changed in a negative way for them, but it ended up working out, and Na'Vi were the ones that took the mantle, really, for EU coming into this event.
Na'Vi are a rags to riches story, and it's something that we're actually quite familiar with, because last season the team who won the Pro League was Team Empire. They came out of Challenger League, first place, went straight to first place EU, and then first place globally. Now Na'Vi have had a very similar story. Got first place in the EU Challenger League, and EU Challenger League, man, there's nothing quite like European Challenger League.
Honestly, I say it so many times that nobody listens to me. It's EU, man, like, come on.
Europe is an incredibly competitive region, and the ability for Na'Vi to practice and compete in official matches regularly against the likes of G2 and Empire, that gives them so much. And Na'Vi is a team that have, humble beginnings. It's only a couple of seasons ago that this team actually formed, started playing in the UK Premiership, which they eventually won, and now they're here. Could we see a repeat? The #1 out of EU Challenger League becomes the #1 out of EU Pro League, becomes the #1 out of Pro League internationally. It's still a possibility here for Na'Vi.
I mean, if our Challenger League starts making, winning every Pro League final and major round, I think we just need to have a bigger Challenger League in the EU, maybe.
At this point, why not just switch to 2? Like,
yeah, just call it the double Pro League instead.
Where will we take the slots from, though? Is it we'll take it from another region, or just add them to EU?
Look, let's not get into that. How about? I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
That's
all
a
right?
conversation
Dangerous
for
topic.
everybody on the subreddit. I know this is going to go on for ages, but that's it. We have our match on our hands. We'll be taking a look at the rosters momentarily, and we can dig deeper into everything. You see the players here setting up their utility for every single operator. We actually saw that in previous game. In the first 2 rounds, FaZe were kind of all over the place for what they had selected on their ops.
Well, so if you switch around a little bit too much, maybe you aren't really sure what stack you're going to be running. All of a sudden, that operator that you never really play, you get asked to, and nothing's set up, and you got a couple of seconds to get everything in line, and also ask, oh yeah, what am I going to do in this operator? So you wanna have as much ready as possible.
You just end up with pulse of barbed wire, and you're like, why am I even here?
But just take a look at that stage, though. This is something that is a tier above anything that these guys have performed in before. Both of them have played at LAN events, quite a few. Na'Vi has played it at 4, I believe, 2 times DreamHack and 2 times UK Premiership. And Wildcard actually have 10 LAN events under their belt. They've even won one, just as Na'Vi has in their national region. So both of these teams are familiar with playing in front of a crowd. The crowd that Wildcard's played in was a bit smaller than this one, just under half the size, but still a formidable 1,000-person crowd. And Na'Vi have also played at DreamHacks and at their national tournaments as well. So that's not something that's super unfamiliar to these teams. And I like that. It gives them a little bit of that familiarity. This just seems like a natural progression for both of these teams, finally making that step to the international event.
There's this whole idea of like playing on LAN is much different. It is for the first couple of times, right? But you get used to it quite quickly, and when you're sitting at that desk, you can't really see the crowd. The only thing you're seeing is your monitor and the guys next to you, and you're still focused about the game. The audio's a bit different. It's a bit louder. You're not as comfortable as you'd normally be at home. It's not the same chair, the same keyboard, or well, it is the same keyboard, but it's not the same place on your desk, right? But both of these teams, I don't think if it's LAN or not, that's not really going to impact them. It's going to be the overall experience and who is just the better in-game team. If we were to replay this online, I think we would see the same outcome.
Something else that we've seen recently is these teams haven't played as many best of threes. And yes, you can talk about how LAN and online, quite different, but maybe it'd be the same result. Best of ones, that's a very different beast here, and both of these teams have had quite a bit of best of three experience recently. Navi playing in the DreamHack Valencia, they unfortunately were eliminated in the group stage, but that was best of threes that they were playing there. And same with the relegations last season in the Season 9 Challenger League. Wildcard have actually played quite a lot of best of threes because the national tournament in ANZ, Six Masters, is actually all best of three. So both of these teams have that experience in the longer format as well, and the ban phase where you only get to ban one map, which means you don't really have that safety net of banning out two maps knowing you won't play them.
Luckily for Navi, they don't look weak on any map really. I mean, they have an exceptional amount of bans on border on bank, compared to any other map. Their consulate they've never banned and win almost every time. I think they're 5-0 on that so far for the past 6 months. But Navi going into this, there are certain maps where in EU people are terrified of them. We know that they play really well on Kafe. They love playing Kafe. Yeah, like if whatever they can do to get Kafe in, that's going to be one of their main goals.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the rosters here, starting off with Navi. Now we'll take a look at Wildcard before going into maps. So you'll see all 5 players: Pi, Citizen, Kendrew, Nello, and Saves. A bit of an extra bit of information. Pi comes in to replace Doki after his, sidelining for just a few months. And Pi has been doing excellently. We did not expect this. You know, you come in, you fill such small shoes, I guess, with Doki at this point, but you come in, you're doing a lot of work, and everybody's thinking, like, this might be the key for it, because nobody was expecting the amount of damage, specifically on Zofia as an operator, that Pi was going to bring.
Our sample size is so small because just before Doki got replaced, the team was doing great. And then Pi comes in and the team keeps doing great. So we don't really know if they've improved or not, but at least they didn't decline. So
one thing I will say about this roster as well, with that change coming in, is that Pi actually had a very, very slightly higher CGG rating from the stats of his matches than Doki did. So this doesn't really feel like a downgrade to me. Doki obviously brings a lot to the team. There's some fantastic videos on the Navi YouTube channel where Doki breaks down their games, their performances, and some of the things that they tried to do. So he can still have that impact behind the scenes, like an analyst playing for that team, helping in the behind the scenes work. That makes such an impact as well. So Navi on the cards, it might look like that disrupted them, but honestly, I think this is a great change.
All right, we'll take a look at their opponents. It's Wildcard DG, of course, in the ANZ region. And here they are, Derpy, Neofighter, Ethan, Diesel, and Emerin. Neofighter, though, I think I want to highlight him just for a moment because we've seen his name in previous tournaments. James, tell us the story of Neo.
So actually, Neofighter and Silex, who's the coach of this team, played very, very long time ago, before APAC had a pro league. They were on a team together called Atletico, and they were the top team in ANZ, full stop. They played very, very well, and Neofighter and Silex stayed together for a really long time. Eventually, Neofighter was noticed by Fnatic, Fnatic being the only team at the time in the ANZ region that made it a career to play esports. And so obviously that enticed Neo to move over, but then eventually he was replaced by Virtue. Neofighter came back to his former teammates and he's been performing really well here. He's not by any means, in my opinion, the standout player on this roster, but that's the thing about Wildcard. This is a team of 5 people. Their chemistry, their adaptability, their communication, that's what gets them over the line. It's not necessarily an individual player going for an aggressive peak, going for frags. It's the whole team as a whole.
But this is going to be their first match, unless I'm mistaken, playing outside of their region.
Yeah, that's right.
The meta change across regions is pretty significant. We see how some teams are known for, like Brazil is known for being extremely aggressive. EU and some teams have extreme structure in their teams and very specific ways of doing it. And that whole different mentality when you play is really the difficult thing that they're going to have to face.
One thing I will say for Wildcard, though, is while it's not a different region, the sub-regions of APAC, especially ANZ, is separate. Because of the ping difference, the sub-regions of APAC actually develop really different metas. So coming into the APAC finals just recently, Wildcard looked at the 2 teams in their bracket, Xavier and Cyclops, the 2 most aggressive teams in APAC. And then coming into that LAN event, they scrimmed a whole bunch of aggressive teams to prepare for that, and they managed to get through the bracket without too much trouble as well. Now, coming into this one, obviously EU is a different beast, but coming into an event where where the teams that they're playing against are not familiar for their region. That's something they're actually used to, and if they've made the necessary steps to try to learn Na'Vi's playstyle, I don't think it'll be too much of a shock in hot water for them.
But are there any standout players for Wildcard? You talked about the whole team, but who really does what? Because we would really want to emphasize this because not many people get to watch ANZ either because of time zone, etc. This is kind of the story of Wildcard and how we should be addressing it.
Yeah, to me, the two big players I'll be looking for, Ethan, on the defense especially. He's that player who's loosely roaming around, trying to find an opportunity to flank, go for those C4 kills, often plays information gathering operators, your Valk, your Mozzie, your Pulse. And another player that always steps up, especially on the attacking side, is Rin. He's one who, if there's nothing happening, Rin goes and makes a play, gets entries, and he's such a versatile player that he will always make that happen. The question is, can they perform online? I think they can, but whether they'll be outclassed by Na'Vi, I think most people would expect so. Still, the jury's not out.
I think you really expect Na'Vi to be running away with the series just because we've seen more of them. Wildcard, not as much. They've played more tournaments, but in a locked-in like sub-region of a region that is already kind of put to the side. But we saw the power that Fnatic and Norarengo were able to bring in the past. The moment that the world opened up for them to compete, they surprised everybody. And they won so many hearts and minds in around Siege.
I mean, they surprised people because the expectations were so low, and they come in and they actually perform well. But there's still a big difference between performing well in a couple of games and then making it to the finals or winning that. And I think it would be foolish not to expect Na'Vi to win, but we can't outrule the possibility that Wildcard really shows up. I mean, Neophyte is on 16 plus entry frags, so they're far from bad players. They're just not used to playing in the same, I guess, the same meta or the same class as everyone else's.
And something that we have to keep in mind, this is only the beginning for Wildcard. For 9 months, they went completely orgless. They decided it's actually better if we don't have any organization to represent us because we don't get anything out of that at this stage. The ANZ region, in terms of the esports scene, is quite underdeveloped. They don't have the leisure of being paid full-time to play. A lot of these guys are students, or they have full-time or part-time jobs alongside their esports career, and trying to keep up with teams who have as much support as Fnatic, or even support like Na'Vi, Empire, G2, Dark Zero, these other teams. Dark Zero has a team house, for goodness sake. That's something you just don't talk about in R6 esports in the ANZ region. Now, Wildcard, American organization, picks up this team in the last few months, and already we're seeing they've had the opportunity to boot camp for the first time. That led into a great performance for the APAC finals. This is only the beginning, and we'll see Wildcard at many future LAN events, I guarantee it.
From your experience specifically, James, have you had the time to kind of explore how the coaches do things in ANZ? Maybe it's a bit different because you've been able to kind of see both sides from your experience going to these events and talking to the coaches.
Yeah. So one thing that's great with Wildcard is their coach, Silix, that's standing behind the players, is actually a former player for that team. So he knows the players really, really well, and he has experience playing at multiple LAN events. Sometimes he knows when it's actually best to just let the team talk. He doesn't actually have to have input. There's also one analyst for this roster, Flux, who has been coaching this team for years, but he unfortunately couldn't make it to Japan this time. Wildcard, their roster where the coaches, it comes down to the preparation. Just to be honest, it's just like every other region. The coaches come and deliver the preparation that's needed for the players, gives them the direction that they need, but the players, they're the ones who have to take the wheel.
Alex, how do you prepare against a team like Na'Vi? Because we saw in EU, at least in online play, not many were able to prepare themselves for the onslaught that Na'Vi was bringing.
I think plenty of people prepared themselves. They just ended up losing. But I mean, they were open and fair about it. We're not expecting too much going into this. We're going to give it our best shot, of course, but they're humble about it. They know that if they lose, no one's going to blame them. If they win, they're going to be heroes.
All right, well, here's our map ban. Kafe Dostoyevsky, Coastline as map 2, and where will be the decider? We go to Clubhouse. So, as usual, best of 3 series, ban, pick, and then we'll see our last 2 bans and our decider map. So reminder, Kafe Dostoyevsky, Coastline, and Clubhouse is all 3 maps that we will be playing on. So let's focus on Kafe. Talked about it, Na'Vi, very comfortable on Kafe Dostoyevsky. This is something that is kind of just rolling through the usual.
I do want to say before we get to Kafe, both Bank and Border are the default bans of both teams. So no one's pulling like a massive surprise there. But Kafe, Na'Vi is absolutely terrifying on it, and they're almost joking around when you talk to them. in private or playing with them or at events, they like playing Kafe is like that's their playground.
Yeah. On the flip side of that, for Wildcard, looking at previous results, Kafe is not a good map.
Oof.
So that's scary. But what I will say is second map, if they can keep their composure, second map Coastline, Wildcard are a force to be reckoned with on both Bank and Coastline. Now, luckily for Na'Vi, their auto ban of Bank happens to be one of Wildcard's best maps. So there's an opportunity that we will get to 3 maps. I think Na'Vi's likely to start strong. That said, if Wildcard have done their research on Na'Vi and they've realized with the weeks in advance that they've had since the APAC finals when this bracket was drawn, that they would likely be playing Kafe, I sure hope they've been putting a lot of effort into it. Now, Kafe is a map that Europe loves to play. Europe, 27% of the matches in the European Pro League this season were on Kafe. Now, APAC was next up for most Kafe plays, but still, nothing for Europe. Man, the first play day, wasn't it 4 Kafes back-to-back?
4 Kafes. I sat there casting the game. I don't remember, who was it with Intero? And we were just like, okay, well, it seems like another Kafe. It was the first showing of the brand new map, and we're like, this is actually great. All the players that we interviewed later, and even if you saw socials back then, everybody was applauding the new map design. And after playing it personally, I really think it's a much better map than it was before. And that explains why EU likes it so much. You have a lot of hard breach potential, soft breach potential, top floor, down floor. You can roam, you can be aggressive. Everything is possible on it. It's such a flexible map, and that's why everybody likes it in general, really.
I hope Wildcard has some sort of actual wildcard they can pull on Kafe, because we're expecting Na'Vi to take Kafe massively, and if that happens, then going into second map, I don't know if there's going to be any more air left in the balloon for them.
I mean, if you're Wildcard at this point, are you thinking, look, let's take it easy on Kafe, knowing that they're probably going to lose? Because we don't want to, as you said, use up all of our energy on map number 1 if it's not worth it. Because all that matters at the end is whether you win the map or not.
Exactly.
And if they spend all this effort, go to an 8-7 loss, that's 7 rounds that you've won for nothing. May as well invest that, try to get the victory on Coastline, move on to map 3, which will be Clubhouse, if we get there. Now, I got to agree with you. I'm the one who's going to be cheering for ANZ all day and all night, obviously. But that said, Kafe is going to be a scary prospect for them.
There's at least an ANZ fan here. So.
Yeah, I know him.
Did you ship someone all the way over to Japan to cheer for ANZ?
Yeah, I need some people to cheer for them. There you go.
There's quite a few of them, so here we go. So, James, you look at this. Any specific operators that you expect Wildcard to ban? Is there something that they usually go for? And what do you expect them to bring against Na'Vi?
One thing that I will say for Wildcard is of all the teams at this event, they actually have the highest percentage of Jackal bans. So if Na'Vi trying to go for that roam game, I don't think Jackal's going to be as useful on that top floor of Kafe, but some of the other bomb sites, if Wildcard want to go for that roam game, maybe banning out that Jackal's a good move. That said, I mean, a good team with good droning and even substitute utility of a Dokkaebi or a Lion or a Nomad or a Gridlock, you can counter that roam regardless. So I don't think that's the wisest ban, even if they're tempted to go for it.
They both share liking banning Hibana and Mira as well. So that's going to fall a little bit on, do you just want to gamble that the other team is going to ban that if you ban something else? So whoever has, you know, the back to do that, yeah, the cojones to take that chance and do an off ban is most likely going to force the other ones into either Hibana or Mira ban.
Yeah, something we have seen a lot from Wildcard and Na'Vi both. Well, Na'Vi actually, they enjoy banning the Thatcher. It's one of their most banned operators, but they also like to play it a lot as well. Now, Wildcard coming into APAC finals are going up against Airwolf, who really enjoyed that Thatcher ban. So if we see that taken out by Na'Vi, I wouldn't be surprised if Wildcard have some tricks up their sleeves. Nonetheless, I think defense of Kafe is going to have a field day during this match. And I didn't quite get the call on which team starts on defense, but that may well set the pace for the entire series.
All right, final thoughts on this. Alex.
Best of luck on Kafe, man. Best of luck.
Fun Wildcard, don't put all your balls in one basket. Let Kafe slip through. If you're losing, then sure. If you spent the last 3 weeks practicing on Kafe, then sure, give it your all, see what you can do. Put Na'Vi on the back foot. If not, I'm waiting for Coastline.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. It's time to get our show on the road. Na'Vi versus Wildcard, our second quarterfinals. Let's go, Hajime!
Thank you very much, Gassan, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, watching home for the Rainbow Six Pro League Finals for Season 10. My name is Flynn, I'm joined by Stokes, and we have a game ready for you, Na'Vi versus Wildcard. And the desk is selling out Wildcard off rip on Kafe. Obviously, Na'Vi a very good team on Kafe, But to surrender map 1 and dig yourself that kind of hole, I'm not agreeing with that kind of mentality.
I don't think it's going to go that way either, Flynn. But I mean, you look at the stats between these two teams on map, and you know we're not going to bank, and you also know we are not going to border. So it's kind of pick your poison. You're going to have to deal with Kafe. You're going to have to deal with a map that Na'Vi wants to play. Just take away that border because we know you don't want to go there.
You never know. It'll be Wildcard starting on the defense as Na'Vi will be starting on the attack as we jump in for map number 1 here in our second quarterfinal of the day. Waiting to see the first band. It'll be Wildcard's band, and they'll take out the Thatcher. So Dev, obviously from Australia, going to be providing us some intel on these ANZ teams. And of course, they take care of that Thatcher on Kafe off rip. It'll be Navi's turn to counter with a Capitao.
Not very surprising. I mean, this map in general is ran a lot with Capitao just because of how powerful his utility is. The Thatcher ban specifically, not too random either. It makes Kaid extremely powerful, and you're going to need someone that is efficient with Maverick. If you don't have someone that's efficient with Maverick, you're going to have a bad time, Flynn.
Well, we talked about the Mira and Hibana bans on the desk. Thank you, Alex, for that. And we haven't got either of those yet, and we're going to get a Jaeger ban. So Alex wanted cojones from these teams. We're getting cojones in the bans. Maestro and Jaeger both down. We still have a lot of intel gathering for the defenders of Wildcard. Valkyrie, Echo still in play. Mozzie, Mute. There's a lot of intel denial and gathering opportunities for the defense of Wildcard here to start for their first 6 rounds. You got the favored side if you're Wildcard. Yeah, you're going up against Na'Vi. Again, a team that has a pretty darn good record. 6-0-2 as you saw in the opening on Kafe for them in the last 6 months. But I mean, don't just throw the whole map away, man. You're here as the underdogs. Take a shot. You never know what might happen on a map you don't play all that often.
And that's the beauty of being an underdog. No one's expecting anything out of you. Pull a rabbit out of a hat, pull a Jaeger band out of a hat, and see what happens with it. We were reviewing some VOD last night, Flynn, and we were looking over Coastline, and they had some very peculiar bans on Coast as well from the ANZ finals, where they took away some very, very peculiar operators. They took away Buck, and they also took away Pulse, which we don't see too often on Coastline. So you can see Wildcard are definitely living up to their namesake.
Well, I mentioned the Mute and the Mozzie combo. We also get an Echo thrown in there. No Valkyrie just to spice it up, but we do have Imorin on the Kaid. We have Ethan on the Vigil, and we have everyone else right now roaming downstairs, getting some reinforcements down. Neo right now setting up downstairs in the Red Hall. And the attacking lineup, we're getting a Maverick, so to counter that Thatcher ban, you can still bring a Maverick. The Surrey Torch will still open things up. Not a counter in the world other than a bullet to the head for him. So you're tangoing with 2 Heart Breachers. You got the IQ for these Echo drones, and then the Gridlock. We talked about the roam control here. Kafe's a map that obviously lends itself to its verticality, but its opportunities to rotate back up. You have 2 staircases. Those are your options. You have 2 staircases, end sentence.
There you go. That's really all you need. And the player I want to highlight from Wildcard is Neofighter. A nice Nitro Cell sails out, doesn't get a first kill off of it, though. Ethan's also going to be getting very, very aggressive outside. So already some aggressive plays here from Wildcard. But Neo, out of the rest of the Wildcard squad, has the most entry kills by a large margin. This man means Thatcher on offense. So on the defensive side, he's definitely turning up.
Well, another highlight player to worry about here will be Citizen for Na'Vi, one of the best players in the entire world right now for this rookie squad. And it's hard to believe that this is a rookie squad. #1 seed coming out of EU Pro League, the most challenging region in all of Pro League around the world right now, even in Challenger League. They came out of Challenger League, and now here they are at the APAC final, or the finals in APAC here in Japan. And for Na'Vi, they don't look like they're a rookie team. They're very seasoned, obviously, lots of LAN experience through Premiership and DreamHack. Pi's made a very swift entry in here to Piano, and Imorin is trying to counter behind a deployable shield. TCSG will have to tangle with 3 members of Na'Vi, all coalescing in the back of Piano. Neo looking to rotate down below with a Nitro Cell, and Imorin will start things off onto Kendrew. Turning the corner, he'll put Pi on 10, but loses life for it. The flank there by Ethan, and there he goes. Verticality, the name of the game, and the rotates not being locked down by Na'Vi.
And this is what you want to see from Wildcard. Don't step down. Continue to push that aggressive play style. Jerp wins out a gunfight against Saves upstairs in the bar area. Na'Vi now on the back foot as they're looking down the barrel of 4 other operators.
Start here for Wildcard on the defense and not really backing down. You know, everyone on the desk talking about, you know, save your energy. Don't really waste it. Throw away the whole map. No, you throw that kind of mentality out the window. You take swings at every opportunity because Lord knows we've seen enough upsets over the days with maybe substitute players coming in, e.g. versus Fnatic a year ago from today, rings to mind. Neophyter a little lower on HP here, but as is Pi. Nello as well alone here as they both coalesce inside of Piano. Trying to Maverick the wall. Neophyter will take down Pi, though as he turns the corner, leaving Nello alone. The Gridlock, still full HP, carrying Diffuser, but not a lot of options, being flanked from red stairs, and he's well aware. Waiting for someone from Wildcard to get a little antsy and throw away their huge advantage that they have right now. Constantly battling back against the deployable shield, but once again, here comes Neophyter, here comes Wildcard, and they take round number 1.
Fantastic pacing control there, Flynn. They slow it down in the mid-game, and they just allow Na'Vi to eat right out of their hands. Please come in. We'll take some kills off of you, get it down to that 4 versus 1, and we're not even going to try and rotate to find you inside of Christmas. That's what Wildcard needs to do. Throw them off kilter. That early aggression out of the front doors, no one does that, but Wildcard's going to, and they're more than likely going to continue to do this. Na'Vi have to try and find that counter.
Should be noted here, it is Kafe.
Yes.
It's a very defender-sided map, so like the Death said, they're going to be starting on the favor side, and then once they swap to the attacks, it's going to get a little more dicey, but take what you can while you've got it. You're starting on a favored side, they're going to win the top floor defense. Sorry, some replays here from the last round, and honestly, Imran, I really like this hold. He never backed down. 3 members all challenging him on that deployable shield, and yet no fear. And that's what I like to see from Wildcard. Don't back down. Don't listen to the desk. Don't listen to the analysts. Don't listen to the pundits. Take your shots. That's a nitro cell.
Yeah, Derpy, don't do that. There we go. Put the camera up. That's what we need. We need the Valve cam. We don't need the nitro cell. No explosives on the windows. So gonna be rotating downstairs to kitchen. So it seems like we're following the regular triangle of sites here, Flint. One thing I do want to notate, though, is that with a Jaeger ban on Kafe, there's a lot of areas that are extremely dangerous to hold, and we're not seeing any nades by the offense at all. White Stairs is someplace you do not want to be with Jaeger off the board. That is just a haven for frag grenades to pour in and kill you. But Na'Vi has not shifted just yet to anyone that's rocking those frags.
Well, I think one of those big things is that Alex touched on as well in the pregame there is that both teams like to ban similar operators. They have similar play styles, and you're not going to be expecting this boot camping, you know, they're going to ban a Jaeger and start running nades. Neither team has really shifted from their typical play style just yet. Everyone's still running their typical routine. But like Alex said, whoever is the one to step their foot forward and make the bravest move is probably going to come away with the map. So if we start seeing some implementations of frag grenades here from Na'Vi, it might start displacing some of these people. I talk about that play from Imran in the pixel spot upstairs. One frag grenade takes out his shield and takes some damage off him. It's an entirely different round.
And that's the thing about Na'Vi. They traditionally speaking start off pretty structured, but things can go into utter turmoil once they hit that pressure point, where Wildcard just pushes them to the nth, and then all of a sudden you're in very dangerous water. They're trying to soft wall Mav trick the kitchen wall, but it isn't working out just yet. Pi missing a piece to the puzzle in order to make that soft instead of a hard wall.
Citizen outside holding flank outside from the ventilation balcony right now, and a little worrisome as you got your Ash, mainly your entry operator, holding rotates and holding flanks. And there goes Neophyter again, starting things off hot for Wildcard. There goes Pi, the Maverick. So all that attempt to try and open up the wall will be unsuccessful. Ethan will tack on as he goes for the run out, still detected outside. Waiting for the vault in will be Citizen, but baiting the pre-fires. Ethan just wasting a massive amounts of time. And there goes Imran around the corner. Kendra at least trade out the Legion, detected for years outside on the balcony. But once again, we stand at a 2v4 for Na'Vi.
Amazing comms from Wildcard to be able to take down Ash on the red stairs. It's up to the remaining 2 members of Na'Vi. They need to make something happen. They need to get some offensive rounds. That's a way to start it off for Kendra with a double. He knocks it back down to equal man advantage. They have plenty of time as well to possibly get some drones in, get some information, try to get a Diffuser down. Stun grenade still in the hands of Kendra as well. He sees the feetsies. Can he possibly get some damage? He will get a little bit on a derp, but it's not going to be enough to be fatal.
Pushing into the rotate that was made by the defenders now. In some cover as well as the defenders have backed off. Derpe still inside of the bar, but Diesel rocking the TCSG removes the head of Nello, taking damage from every possible angle. Wildcard, they piece 2 back to back. They're gonna keep going on the rotation here on defense on Kafe. No big shock, but still, right now Na'Vi's starting slow.
This is where things get important, Flint, because we're going to that 3rd site, as you usually label as a tertiary site. It's something that you just mark off as, okay, if we win it, that's fantastic. If not, then, hey, you know, it's whatever. We can get 4 here, split it 4-2. That should be perfectly fine going to the offensive side. But if we're able to link together 3 rounds here, I really feel like that timeout for the map needs to come from Na'Vi. You need to be able to get in there, talk to your boys, get them set back on winning these offensive rounds. Because yes, it is the offense of Kafe, but you still have to be successful in a couple of rounds in order for this to go your way.
I think that timeout comes if they lose this round. If you go down 3, you get a clean sweep of rotation on objectives, and Wildcard have the possibility to go back upstairs and continue their run, you're in danger territory. So for Wildcard, beautiful start so far. Clearly it's only 2 rounds though. You need 7 to win, so we're far off from them taking the map, but this is much more what I wanted to see out of Wildcard, which was taking chances. They are not playing safe by any stretch of the imagination.
Do not step down. That's something that you and I would both echo, is that, hey, it might be a map that you're not very good on, but hey, you might as well try your best, and if it works out in the end, then you have a map and all of a sudden you're up 1-0 against Na'Vi.
What do you have to lose?
Exactly, what do you have to lose? But I can tell you one thing for sure, both of the Brandon cars are just swinging today. BC as well, if you didn't know, Derpe's name is Brandon Carr. We have 2 of them at this LAN, and both of them have been lights out so far today.
Absolutely. I like the carousel of operators that Wildcard have been rocking so far. They've been changing things up every single round, depending on the site they go, in stark contrast to Na'Vi. The only thing that's changed is their primary hard breacher, which is Kendrew, whether he's going Thermite or Hibana. Everything else has remained static for Natus Vincere. For Wildcard, though, they keep rolling that dice, and they continue to surprise and take advantageous angles and aggressive stances towards Na'Vi that they're not really expecting. The pulse coming out from Ethan will be a new one to contest with here. Hopefully saves can last a little bit longer into these rounds, but it looks like Ethan is zeroing in on his primary target.
Ethan. Pulse scanner still in hand, recognizes that he's outside, but there's a Claymore on that. They cannot get aggressive, otherwise they're going to risk getting blown up. Nella's actually going to miss drone. He's going to lose that. So now we know someone is inside of train. Another pulse scanner coming out once again. He's going to mark out 2 out on the west balcony. Na'Vi playing a lot slower than they usually do, Flynn, and I think it's getting to that point now where they need to try and force Wildcard to respect what the regular playstyle is. This slow gameplay is not helping out Na'Vi.
My worry for Na'Vi as well is it looks like they don't really have an idea of which take they want to go for. Drone's going to get Mozzie trapped there, so Emerin has even more utility at his disposal to work with to try and stall out Na'Vi inside of Piano. They were splitting as well towards an east window repel, but it looks like they've fallen off that, and now everyone primarily focused on pushing in through Piano, getting top floor control, and pushing over for a dining plant here as the hatch will be opened up into train from Piano. A Nitro Cell was detonated, will take 25 HP off of Kendrew, but Nello will start things off onto Ethan. So there goes that pulse that was lurking and hunting inside of train.
That's going to be a lot of information off the board. That cardiac sensor is so very useful, but you still have a lot to worry about. You still have Derp to worry about specifically. He's all the way upstairs with some long angles. That setup you saw him make with the bullet holes earlier pays off in folds.
So 60 seconds tick away here for Na'Vi as they look to acquire their first attacking round. The angle being held there, and Nello, or Neophyter, sorry, will win that out against Nello. Citizen now worrisome as he'll have to recover the diffuser. They were on cam the entire time and had no idea. Pi coalescing above, but he's got 2 descending upon him. There goes Emerin turning the corner, removing the head of Pi. Last 2 remaining attackers are separated. Kendrew still outside of Pillar's balcony door, and Citizen honestly just drowning inside of train, being swarmed upon from every angle. And there goes Derpe taking down Kendrew. It's a 1v4 once again for Na'Vi. Just the huge man disadvantages late into the rounds here for Na'Vi, and it looks like they're going to drop 3 rounds in a row to begin their finals trip. Flashbang goes up through the hatch, trying to disorient Emerin holding from above, but once again, Neophyter lazing in, and they'll finally clean it up from inside of reading. There goes Emerin to lock it up, and that's Wildcard for 3 in a row.
Wildcard is doing such a fantastic job of battling for map control, Flynn. They only gave them Christmas, and they still fought across, fought for mining, fought for train, and once they get that kill, they occupy the space, and it's so hard for them to get back because now you're at a man disadvantage. You have to try and get information in there. You're not just going to wide swing off of no info, and they are just brutalizing Na'Vi right now. Looks like we might be going for a timeout. Yes, we are going to be going for a timeout on the Na'Vi side, so good call by the both of us, I would say.
A little bit of a prediction there, but I'm not really shocked right now. If you're Na'Vi, you've dropped a whole rotation, and if you're Wildcard right now, you're saying, why can't we run that back? Why can't we make this a 6-0? All you need is 1 attack, and realistically, you've got a good chance of taking the whole map at that point here. And the one thing that I'm loving about all this is just proving the desk wrong.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Throw away the map, my ass.
Yeah, never sleep. Never sleep on them, my friend. And Wildcard...
Throw away a map ever.
Yeah, no.
Stay in the game.
I'm sorry. I thought this was competitive.
I think right now for Na'Vi, it's focus up and it's about getting your momentum going. They seem so lost in rounds
in
terms of getting forward momentum. The stall there in Piano for over 2 minutes. The stalls as well inside of Piano when they're attacking the top floor. It's worrisome that Na'Vi are having trouble gaining ground when they're a team that typically, when they find a wall, they send themselves right through it. They never really hold back anything, and it feels like right now they're feeling the pressure a little bit, and they're having trouble getting any forward momentum. A lot of their droning is being stalled out, and I got to give credit to Wildcard with the mute Mozzie combo.
And the Vigil. The Vigil's really messing them up as well, because inside of that combo with that ERC7 backpack, they cannot find you. It's almost impossible.
It's beautiful play here for Wildcard for shutting them down. It looks like Citizen's a little sick of the intel gathering that Wildcard have had plentiful amounts of. So he's going to switch over to the knock as soon as you guys get to see that back on your screens. We're loading back in now. The timeout is concluded. Na'Vi look to regroup. You're going to see a swap up here for Pi as well. He's going to get off the Maverick and head to the Sledge, so taking in the L85. But also, no Jaeger, and now you've got 2 nades. I'm liking this.
Wow, that speaks huge margins to Wildcard's game right now. Na'Vi is the most effective offensive team on Kafe in the world, winning 59% of their offensive rounds on this map. And Wildcard is currently up 3-0. What that means is that Na'Vi is currently in their feelings or something about this map. They need to bring it back to center. They needed that pep talk. Hopefully they can figure it out. But the main thing right now is, Flynn, for me personally, to add on to that drone game, was that they don't have these flank drones set up because of the detriment that Wildcard is putting to that drone economy. They just have no drones for information. You can see all these aggressive peeks that Wildcard are taking, and it seems like the Na'Vi players have no idea where they are, because they don't. There's no information that they have in order to feed back to their team, even when they're dead.
Well, this will be an interesting adaptation here for Wildcard as well, as they take Derpe and they put him on the Mira. So one of the big things when you lose the Thermite in the ban phase, or just opt not to take it actually, sorry, I don't know why I got that confused from the last map that we saw from the last game, but only bringing Hibana now, and you don't have the Maverick, you have very limited options in terms of breaching. You might even, spotting up the mirror in the drone phase, forego opening up the top red wall, and you might get stuck in a sardine can inside of Cigar Shop. Imarim with a long angle all the way from Tarps to the top of White Stairs to the Piano windows, and that's been Pi's favorite window. He's entered in through Piano every single round up there, barring the round that they attack towards the basement.
This is already a shift up in play for Wildcard on the defense, all except for Neo getting aggressive again. We told you he's the most effective opening fragger on this team, and he's going to prove it once again. Pretty standard mirror setup here from Wildcard, though. It's something that we used to see on this map quite often. The freezer mirror, but a little bit of an adaptation to that. They're also going to put one of the mirrors inside of the bathroom, facing in towards freezer as well. So you basically have 2 bunkers set up to try and contest Christmas.
Still with the long angles, contesting into Piano. Somehow Pi has made it into Piano, but they're going to spot him on the Mozzie. Drone up frag grenade comes around the corner, and Diesel almost walks straight into it. But there he goes, point blank with the shotty, shutting down Pi, the only man for Na'Vi to make it into Piano for a long stay. Now Nello holding the flank, still worrisome about Neofighter downstairs. Again, Na'Vi unable to propel forward, and Kendra has got to do something about these mirrors locking them down.
Yeah, Na'Vi just not able to get the information needed in order to handle bathroom. Tries to peek a little bit too late. Pi tries to escape death, but it's not going to happen for Kendra either. Nitro sell out. Can they get it all? They can! Wildcard with a flawless round.
Wildcard up 4-0, baby. 4 in a row, run it right on back. They win the top floors again. Na'Vi stalling out to their ultimate demise.
Should I set my CGG on fire? If you guys didn't check that out, I put Na'Vi as the winners for this entire tournament.
Hey, it's one map, and it's not even one half of one map. By no means are Na'Vi out of this, but right now, like the stats suggest, like we're suggesting, Wildcard performing well above expectations, fighting well above their weight class, and Na'Vi, something is wrong. This is getting worrisome now. I'm very, very concerned about how poorly they are taking these maps and how off guard they continuously look whenever they're being engaged with. It almost feels like they have no idea where someone's coming from.
Wildcard's trying to set the bar so high you'd have to force the Air Force to find it, my friend. Like, it's definitely up there right now. I mean, going into Kafe, we both thought, hey, Na'Vi should be able to find some rounds on offense, maybe split it 3-3, and then be able to find all that aggressive play style on defense, wake up, win some rounds, probably win the map, and then go off on our merry way to Coastline. But that's not happening. Wildcard, I'm not even going to lie, is the most aggressive team on Kafe that I have ever seen. I mean, we're wide swinging front door off of spawn, Flynn. That's something you don't see too often.
I was going to mention Rogue, but I guess they kind of sort of don't exist anymore, maybe?
Ooh.
Throw a little shade that way.
It's a Monka S in chat, boys.
Jumping in, we're going back downstairs for a kitchen defense here. And Na'Vi really lacking in top control last time around. It was Nello on the gridlock, in which he is stuck as a mainstay here. Tried to push in through the middle of white stairs and rotate his way down through train, but it was way too late as the aggression from Ethan jumping out. And then again, just aggressing onto the Ashes Citizen, waiting on red stairs to hold flanks. Just too much to handle there for Na'Vi. So for Wildcard here on the defense, not a really big swap up here. We've got Neophyter on the castle this time. Just trying to slow some things down. They did have the castle the last time they defended downstairs though, so very similar setup here, similar look, but it looks like Na'Vi have changed almost everything as we're going for a back take now in towards Freezer.
That's exactly what needs to happen. They need to be able to get these drones in, get some information. There is no mute this time. They're still gonna have to worry about Imran on that, and Mozzie able to steal away those drones with his pesky little spiders. And he has it all for himself, where he's able to drone things out. Nello's gonna lose another drone, recognize out someone's upstairs near the freezer wall, but Ethan just going to back off, and that's something we've been able to see from Wildcard so far. They have these aggressive bursts. Sometimes they don't work out like you see right now, but for the last 4 rounds, they've definitely been doing some damage. Citizen gonna keep it going though.
Citizen and all of Na'Vi now fighting back finally, taking some teeth with their game and honestly looking a lot more composed and a lot more willing to engage in these gunfights instead of being so averse to them. It seems like they've been playing incredibly timid throughout this map. Now it seems like Na'Vi has discovered their backbone. He'll be droning downstairs. Neophyter droned out in towards coat check in the front door. He'll be pinged as he rotates out, but no one saying the area code really to collect that kill. They have opened up the freezer hatch though from inside of Dining, and Diesel directly below. No fear. Still at a 2-man disadvantage here for Wildcard, but no nerve shown as he's willing to contest this day in and day out. The Nitrocell goes up, but no, it will down Nello actually. That didn't look like it was even close. That's a 3 armor at range, but hey, you'll take what you can get right now if you're Wildcard. Still standing at 3v5 as Nello hasn't been confirmed.
Oh, Na'Vi starting to warm things up now. Saves, pushes the envelope. We're down to 2. They have to clutch up to continue on this reign of terror so far on Kafe. Can they find it? No, it's going to be a trade. It's up to Emo Ren and Na'Vi finding their first round. Let's see if the EU powerhouse can bring it back.
It's looking like a struggle here for Na'Vi, but they do get one at the very least. And now we come down to the big question of this half. Do Na'Vi save it by keeping it 4-2? Or does this start looking desperate at a 5-1 heading into the half? And it's a 1-round difference, but it's an entire world of difference in terms of scorelines.
Well, here's the thing, especially for playing up against Wildcard. You guys came into this so docile. What did you expect? Wildcard, even at the APAC finals, were so very aggressive. When we go into Coastline, you guys will see this team will take any gunfight that is given to them, especially on their penthouse defense. Yes, I just said penthouse defense on Coastline. I'm not going to spoil, but trust me, you're gonna want to be glued to the screen when it happens. Na'Vi, though, is like they take the bullets out of the gun and just said, here, you can play with this. Yeah, like they weren't doing anything at all. But if they go in at a 4-2 split, this is definitely doable.
Better work there for Na'Vi for acquiring that top control and holding the rotates. Honestly, just getting involved in the clear, getting involved in the gunfights, getting your entries pushed in. Instead of having an Ash sit on flank watch, have an Ash push all the way into the building and clear out Cocktail. That's a much better start to the round there for Na'Vi, and they followed it up quite well playing the trade game, knowing they had such a massive man advantage. That Nitrocell almost completing the kill onto Nello could have been a game changer, but you're still standing at a 4v2 after Neophyter was taken down inside of the front door entryway. Last defensive possibility here for Wildcard, lest we go to overtime, and who's still bringing the Mute Mozzie combo. That's been a mainstay for Wildcard round after round. The real difference maker has been what that other Intel operator has been, whether it's been a Pulse, or whether they swap it out for the Castle downstairs, or whether they bring a Valkyrie. Ethan's got a window opened up. He's going to reboard that up a little late, honestly. Everyone coming out of spawn could have had their opportunities to pick a shot, but the barricade goes back up safely. The Valk cam goes outside. Saves will be charged with the duty of finding that Valkyrie cam as he ascends to... No, that's not Saves. Saves is down towards the exterior of the kitchen there.
Definitely worried about these hop-outs now that Wildcard has kind of shown their hand on this Christmas defense. So intelligent play from Na'Vi. Slow start, but they've got everything where they need it. They've got their flank holds for outside, trying to watch for anybody hopping from those windows, and they're starting to pressure Christmas, which is what they're going to need to take control of. Wildcard so far, though, like we talked about earlier, are so good at battling for this map control. Save's now going to recognize out that a Pulse is playing extremely close to Pi. This could be very, very dangerous. If he ends up losing out this gunfight, then more than likely all is going to be lost on Christmas. You're going to have somebody pick up that angle. You need that so that no one can rotate out from Pixel.
Well, Samuel, do me a favor. Look at the top of the screen. That was a Mozzie drone. No worries, bud. You're good. So, identifying Emerald at the top of the white stairs there. Lots of pings coming down into Train. Partially exposed Ethan there as the Valkyrie firing upwards. Still has the Nitro Cell in the back pocket. But both of these attackers now are on top of the platform that you cannot destroy from down below inside of Piano. The one safe spot up there. But not a lot of Nitro Cells have been connecting, to be quite honest, for Wildcard. It's just the presence of them that have been worrisome for Na'Vi to contest with. This top floor hold is still working out pretty well, though, killing more than half the round, as it looks like Na'Vi, again, are content with taking in towards Piano and in towards Train, and still letting Wildcard have that cocktail control. And that flank back really hurt them the last time they attacked towards this.
Oh, long arm Nitro Cell, but it's not going to make any contact. Na'Vi has all the top control in the world, but they still have to worry about one inside of Cocktail. Derp's going to get shut down on a rotate out through bar. It's going to be Nello on the delivering end of things. Only 50 seconds left, and Nitro Cell pours in. Does a little bit of damage to Kendra, but it's not going to be enough to be fatal just yet. Neo on the rotate, though. This is what you want to see. Can he get it? He can. He shuts down Nello. He's going for two. They've got to rotate back and shut him down. The rest of Wildcard warming things up. It's down to Citizen, but no, he gets taken down. It's left up to Saves to try and save this round. Can he win out the gunfight? 5-5-2 in hand. Oh no, he challenges back and forth, goes for the prone, makes it a 1 versus 2 with less than 30 seconds remaining, but he still has 2 to find. They more than likely know that he's dropped into laundry. Nobody home inside of sight. He rotates out towards pillars now, but do they have any information on him? This could be a round if he's able to get these gunfights, but he doesn't have the diffuser. It's all the way upstairs, and Wildcard Gaming with a 5-1 lead on the defensive side.
Beautiful first half there for the ANZ representatives, and I think for Wildcard here, this is a proving ground for you. Fnatic, like they even talked about in their own intro video, they're talking about another team from their own region. That are the top dogs of ANZ. In their own words, that is the champion of Australian Siege right now. They are the representatives of the majors, the Pro League finals, everywhere you go. If you're looking for APAC Siege specifically from ANZ, you're talking about Fnatic. This season at the APAC finals, of course, they fell short to Aerowolf, who we'll see shortly. But Wildcard here, they're looking to make their presence known. They're looking to assert themselves as, you know what? We're not always going to be in the shadow of Fnatic. We aren't always the secondary team in ANZ. We can rival Fnatic. We can take games against the best of the best in the world when given the opportunity. And they're seizing full control of this opportunity here.
Absolutely. Going into this land, a lot of people looked at Na'Vi, even with Pi in the roster, and said, hey, it's free real estate. Wildcard is proving that to be completely wrong, almost blasphemy at this point. Just incredible stuff, but again, we have to go into the offensive side. We have to see how they perform with this, because as everyone knows, Kafe, even after the rework, is the hardest map to attack in the game.
Yeah, very defensive-sided map, but a 5-1 lead right now. All you need is a fluke to get yourself on match point and guarantee yourself overtime. Now, of course, overtime is tricky. It's only best of 3, so realistically the defense should win out in overtime, but you never know. We'll have to see what Wildcard can bring on their attacks and see how they can shake up Na'Vi. For Na'Vi right now, I hope they get more into a groove right now and start contesting a lot of these gunfights that Wildcard are willing to take, especially being on the defense, knowing you're a little more comfortable, you're inside the building, you don't have to push into unfamiliar territory. You know, you've got the intel advantage now. No Mute, no Mozzie, no Valkyrie, no Echo, though. A lot of intel being surrendered here for Na'Vi on the defense in favor of what I'd say is really fragging power. And your intel is basically the mirror windows and your Legion Mines from saves.
Yeah, they really have Citizen out on an island on this Vigil. And as you said, luckily no Mozzie, so I don't mess up the pulse call again. So there we go. So it's fine. It was a very, very long time. There was only one thing that moved around on IQs. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But nevertheless, round 7 in between these two. It's been incredible so far. Wildcard again just been so damaging to Na'Vi. They need to wake up, and this is really where they need to do it, is that defensive side. As you guys just heard Flynn talking about, they're going to be surrendering a lot of information, but I don't know if they're trying to feel out what Wildcard will be doing. Do they know what they will be trying to perform on Kafe? Is this going to be a regular take? We don't have a Thatcher to worry about. There's so much left up to question here.
Oh, my big shock here for Wildcard. No hard breachers. They're taking stairwells, hatches, and they're just pushing through doorways. There goes Citizen getting into the action, taking down Neophyter with no damage taken. Beautiful work there. Emerin will open up an angle in towards the white stairs there. They did get some gridlock stingers from Derpe down. Try and hold off rotations, and Emerin's going to get underneath a lot of these defenders down below. Citizen still doing a lot of work on the landing of the white stairs to apply pressure to these attackers that have entered now into the second floor. Many attackers right now for Wildcard amassing themselves on the second floor, trying to apply vertical pressure from underneath.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of that Buck. He's the only soft destructor in the game that can do it unless you want to bring a secondary shotgun, but he's definitely the best at it. You can see Emerin destroying all of the flooring above him inside of Cocktail. Might be able to find that Legion of saves, but not going to be able to find him just yet. Oh, a gunfight in between the bars. Does he go for the frag grenade? No, he doesn't. He's just going to back off. Actually, he's going to go to cook it. This could be the kill. Is he going to choose the right location? No, he's not. 45 seconds left, and this is that difficulty of not having a hard destructor. He's going to do a touch of damage to saves, but again, nothing to be fatal as Emerin takes down saves upstairs, peeks back to the flooring, and all of a sudden we're on equal footing.
30 seconds now. Looks like everyone's trying to send in for the windows, but Emerin again up to the floor. Man advantage now for Wildcard, but they're on dire straits here as they just don't have the control. The mirror window gets opened up, and there goes Citizen. Wildcard on a rampage right now, not slowing down anytime soon. It's all Nello alone, stuck inside a freezer, being repelled upon now from the windows, aggressed upon from the white stairs as they push up slowly, but Derpe on 1 HP carries the diffuser. He gets down, but Emerin with the 3K. Wildcard on match point on map number 1.
He saves the smoke, Flynn. He saves the smoke, and he doesn't smoke off white stairs. If he smokes white stairs there, they win that round. But not this time around. He peeks out through. Buck's able to come up white, takes him down, and that's going to be another round for Wildcard. We're looking at 6-1 right now. Wildcard coming out swinging high.
Citizen gets this opening pick here onto Neophyter, and it's all downhill from there, honestly. This bottom control never contested. The flanks held beautifully. No hard breachers being taken by Wildcard on the attacks, but they hold the 2 stairwells of opportunity for flanks impeccably. Now Na'Vi, with their backs against the wall, must look to get on a defensive run. They gotta win 5 in a row. It's not impossible, but it's 5 in a row. One mistake, you've surrendered your map that you were supposed to win. You head to Coast. Again, not a bad map for Na'Vi, but Wildcard, that's home field advantage.
Home field advantage indeed. And it really begs the question, Flynn. If Wildcard lost to Aerowolf in the finals of ANZ's finals, obviously down low, that's how they got here, what's Aerowolf going to be playing like?
Are the Giants in for a world of hurt? That's the big question.
You know, because, I mean, this isn't anything that we didn't look at and go, okay, this is kind of how Wildcard plays things. Just they are playing their play style. Na'Vi just does not seem to be making the right decisions in the right instances, and it really shows. They keep taking these gunfights that they really don't need. Just proper moments for Wildcard to take advantage, and it keeps proving that they can continue to push this envelope. I mean, it's 6-1. Yes, again, it is Kafe. They went 5 on one side, especially on the defense, but even then, they switch over to offense, arguably the best side on the whole map, and they take that as well.
Everyone heading towards the second floor once again. Seems like that's the home here for Wildcard on Kafe. And now ascending to the top floor as they'll have Citizen to contend with once again on the Vigil. He's playing a bit of that vertical playstyle. Nah, he's going to drop down to the middle of red stairs on the landing. Neo looking for him right now with the electronics sensor out, but he's not going to spot him on the opposite side of the map. The Jackal tracks coming out now from Derpe is the only hard breacher, if you can call him that, will be the Maverick of Diesel.
He's an entry fragger with a torch. That's about it.
The push across here for Wildcard strong as well, and it looks like, again, Na'Vi playing safe. They're playing timid, but honestly, with their back against the wall, it's understandable that they want to peel back and try and save themselves and win off time. Diesel going to be heading in for the freezer take with the Maverick and Emerin, or Ethan will probably have to come down and get rid of the soft wall portions. But Emerin right now doing duty with the skeleton key upstairs. So much top control early. You've only got one possibility of a nitro cell to try and battle back with for Na'Vi. Oh, this looks like it's sardines in a can here for Wildcard to shoot down. There goes that nitro cell. It's gone now. It only did 50 HP of damage on Emerin. The frag grenade is going to get caught in the floorboards there for a minute. It's not going to do a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, it tries to skeleton key it down, but no luck on those pellets and properly to open up the flooring. The issue is now, though, is Na'Vi going to go for this late flank? They do have Citizen on the Vigil, but the issue is, especially with the downstairs site, it's so easy to cut off any rotation. You just have to hold the long hallway. That's it. If you hold that down, they can't access red. You're more than likely going to be able to see them trying to rotate towards you to get up white stairs. What are you going to do? You have to try and battle out of sight, and with all of this vertical control, there's not very many safe havens.
Well, one safe haven that Na'Vi does have as a pivot point will be Bakery. No pressure right now from Wildcard in towards Bakery, so you have a little bit of room outside of the bomb site with no destructible ceiling to worry about. Neofighter, though, has made his way into coat check. He'll be turning the corner looking for gunfights as he's upon the rotate that the defenders had made themselves. No one paying any attention, but shots from the back now from inside of sight. Lots of pre-fires, and Neofighter on 1 HP will escape with his life, though. They try sending into the hallway, saves with one, Pi with another. Looks like Na'Vi now finding their grip, but Emerin will at least take down Pi. There goes the Echo, and Nello is down on the floor.
It loosens a bit. Wildcard has to try and battle in the site now, though, but it's going to be equal. Nello's already been down. It's a 3 versus 3. No one's been able to pick him up just yet, but they will pick up the diffuser. They need to try and get this execute down. There's only 14 seconds remaining. He tries to call in. Citizen shuts him down. Navi's going to continue this rain. It's all of a sudden down to Morin, and that's it. And Navi on the kitchen hold. A double for Citizen, and we're going to keep on Kafe.
The cat has 9 lives. We'll see how many they can take advantage of here for Na'Vi, as again, they win their basement defense, and it looked dire there, honestly. You get that 2 quick picks there, you got the 5v3 advantage, and then all of a sudden, Wildcard comes storming back. Honestly, Neofighter hits 1 shot there onto the Bandit of, I believe, saves, and suddenly that's an entirely different round, but we still stand at a 6-2 scoreline. You can see the faces of Na'Vi looking a little pressured right now, seeming that they are understanding that this should have been their map, and they still have a long mountain to climb, but it's certainly still well within the realm of possibility here. For Wildcard, though, again, all it takes is capitalizing on 1 mistake from Na'Vi and you shut this down. You've already guaranteed yourself overtime should we get to that point. If Na'Vi can run it back for 5 in a row, it's, you know, you still guaranteed yourself overtime here for Wildcard. We talked about draining of energy on the desk. At the very least, Wildcard has drained some energy here and some momentum out of Na'Vi.
Yeah, but what's better than draining energy? A map win. That's what they want, and they only need 1. As you just said, they're going to have to run fight straight on the defensive, or excuse me, on the offensive side, or actually, excuse me, the Na'Vi side. Gosh, anyways, moving on from that. Wildcard is looking so good on this offense as well. I mean, even that last round, still pretty close. Obviously, the trades just didn't go their way. They had all of that vertical pressure, but they really didn't know what they wanted when it came down to the actual site. They were trying to go where the picks went, but it didn't work out for them. They lost a diffuser. They have to try and force through freezer, and they get ran right through the meat grinder.
Well, we're going to be heading back towards the top 2 floors here. It's going to be a reading defense here, reading and dining for Na'Vi to try and continue the run. Lots of shots there from Ethan, starting things off from the shed out by the Park Alley spawn. Just trying to catch anyone on an awkward rotate. He almost caught someone upstairs through Whitehall on the 3rd floor there. If he doesn't go for the 1-tap and goes for a little bit of an extended burst, that's a headshot to start things off. A lot of roll swaps coming out here for Na'Vi as well. Pi's going to get off the Echo and give that to Kendrew. We're getting a Mozzie coming out now to try and slow the intel gathering from Wildcard. So now we've got the possibility of 2 Nitro Cells. Really depends what Citizen is feeling right now. He did have the Nitro Cell last time around. Well, the Bandit did. It wasn't even Citizen last time. Foregoing the Vigil, though, I think you were right that the Vigil was causing a lot of havoc for Wildcard in terms of their droning and for Na'Vi when they were trying to drone on their attacking side. Seems like an operator that's had a lot of fun so far here on Kafe.
Yeah, which is something we don't see too often. Vigil isn't picked that much, and I think that the main thing is taking away that drone economy, being able to, you know, take away 6, 7 drones out of the 10, and then you have a Vigil also in play. You cannot keep track of his movements, and it makes it extremely difficult to get these proper entries in because he could be on any angle, he could be a floor below you. You just don't know.
Well, looks like Emery might have spotted. No, they did not spot the Mozzie drone that's still up on that banister inside of Piano right now. So Derpe is undroned with 50 damage. Not sure what that was, whether it was a gunfight or whether it was an explosive. I don't see any explosive marks, so I'm gonna assume gunfight here. And getting off that drone now, firing through the couch. Derpe, though, at least trade one back, but no! The frag grenade drops off the dead corpse! And it's a team kill for Wildcard. The most unfortunate of circumstances you could possibly imagine.
Probably should have taken Marty Dom off. That was not very good. So, some aggression again for Citizen. Continues to push this through for Na'Vi, and it seems like they're starting to warm things up. Only 50 seconds remain for the last remaining members of Wildcard to try and find something. They were going for that Christmas control, but the trades back and forth just did not work out for them, especially after that blunder with the frag.
Good news is here for Wildcard, you still have plenty of rounds in the bank, and you can shake that one off to poor timing and poor circumstances. Citizen, again, looking to get aggressive. That's kind of what I'm looking here for all of Na'Vi is stop backing down. Stop looking so timid on these fights. That's a thing you can Neofighter walked over a piece of the barricade still, but a shotgun point blank range here from Nello. I don't think he survives this, but the pre-fire, I'm incredibly wrong. There goes Neofighter, spots up the Echo drone as well, but Citizen will take down his teammate in Diesel. The drop into Laundry, he's got no idea because he's so disoriented from that Yokai blast. Saves will shut it down, and Na'Vi, piece 2 in a row. They're still in this ball game.
Yeah, Wildcard ahead, even though they are from the down under. Possibly going for an overtime here as Na'Vi trying to string these rounds together. Still have 3 to go on their side, though. We're going to the off-site now, but granted, they did lose that round earlier, so they can go back up to bar. They don't have to worry about it just yet, but after this one, they will have to go to one of those off-sites instead. We'll have to see if that could work out for them, but we're going to have practically the same setup. Still rocking the Valkyrie, Pi still going to be on the Mozzie. That Echo, the most effective that we've seen of Echo so far throughout this game. We didn't see too much of him when Wildcard was on defense, practically because Na'Vi died quite often before they even got to try and get onto site. This time around, though, going to be attacking the bar site. We still have the same lineup as well for Wildcard, and we'll have to see what they're going to be trying to go for. Last time it was a Christmas take that didn't work out too well for them.
Well, again, no hard breachers coming out, and that's been a common theme right now for Wildcard. The Thatcher ban, we're still taking advantage of the fact that you can use these frag grenades and stun grenades and everything abound without them being caught by the ADSs, so we got 4 frag grenades. Hopefully one doesn't turn into a team kill again. But like you said, we're going back upstairs to the defense here now for Na'Vi as they look to kind of correct the mistakes they had last time around. And the downstairs take for Wildcard last time, just beautifully executed. Again, going for that East Repel, a strategy that isn't often run by teams, but has been used as pocket strats in the past. Ethan looking for any spawn peaks here through the piano windows. And for Wildcard as a whole right now, I think if they run back that strategy last time, the entrance down below, and as long as they hold their flanks, they should be in a solid position to take the map. So long as that, yeah, this doesn't work out. Nitrocell goes soaring over. There it goes. Good night, Emerin. That's your man trying to get downstairs to use that destruction like you talked about. The only operator he could probably use. Derpe could enter down below. The drone's going to get mozzied out now by Neofighter, so this is again looking like a good start for Na'Vi. But the last time they defended this site, they got the opening pick and eventually lost it.
Mozzie has been so damn effective throughout this entire game so far. It seems like every single time he's played, he just hits his mark. Well, he's a quick yokai as they tried to shift it away. Neo, obviously, the IQ, right when they saw him go through the animation of taking his utility out, you try and save it, but just did not work out for Kendrew. Overall, though, for Wildcard, they've definitely slowed down after this pick, trying to take their time, trying to see where this entry point could possibly lead them to. Neo trying to line things up for a possible shot onto White. He will jump up onto the actual AC unit now, pre-fires, but I believe he thinks he's actually on the White stairs, which he's not. You guys can clearly see we still have plenty of bodies of Na'Vi actually upstairs.
That's a little warning shot there from Pi. Just let him know you're interested. You know, you take this battle if you feel like it.
With him. Flirt with him a little bit.
Exactly. Give him a little bit of a tease, but for right now, you're standing pat. Save's going to be prone behind a deployable shield downstairs, or sorry, over inside a cocktail, but he doesn't have to worry about any downstairs pressure because Imorin has fallen to that Nitro Cell that Save's launched out earlier with that Valkyrie camera as well. The rappel onto the new balcony window from here from Ethan. He's got a frag grenade cooked. He's looking to bounce it off the door frame and in. Doesn't do any damage. There's no one positioned from Na'Vi awaiting or in any danger for these frag grenades. And no pressure outside from the east balcony is going to cause a lot of harm to Na'Vi. There's less than a minute ticking down now. And like I said, Derpe's had to go downstairs, try and get some deconstruction going on from down below. Another frag grenade goes soaring, and that's all of them expended without doing a single point of damage.
And that's the issue right now for Wildcard. They're kind of falling into the trap that Na'Vi did. They're being too docile. They're not getting these aggressive plays that they were able to hone on defense. And now we're here. I mean, Na'Vi can just sit alone inside. They really don't have to do much. They're not challenging anything. They're just allowing Wildcard to sit and spin on the timer.
30 seconds tick away now. Might be looking for a jump here as the hatch will get opened up from down below. 23 seconds tick away. And Wildcard, you've got to get going in towards the bomb site, and you've got to get going in a hurry. Barbed wire will slow them down on the stairwells, or you have to rappel in and try and win these gunfights. Point blank range, the peak comes out, and there goes one. A trade out there from Neo as he pushes up the stairwell. Another one in behind Cocktail, but the crossfire from inside a Freezer. 3v2 advantage. Kendrew still has the Yokais. Down to the 2v2 as Ethan pushes into Freezer. It's Diesel all alone trying to get the plant down, and the law rush upon him. Na'Vi will push this back. Looks like we might be going the distance here on Kafe after all.
Well, it is a Pro League final, so let's hope. 2 more rounds to make this even, and then we'll be going to overtime. And as you guys know, if you're a regular viewer here and watch Flynncast quite often, it always goes to overtime.
Am I still cursed? Is that how this works?
You've been cursed for
I'm still cursed?
My friend. Very, very long time.
It looked so good. It was 6-1.
I'm always happy to cast with you, but it's again, it's a good thing to curse. I'm like, yes, overtime. And then by the end on like map 3, I'm just like, overtime, you know? So, but overall, I've got to see this C4. This has to be just something, oh my goodness.
Never had a chance.
That was perfect. A perfectly placed C4. Fantastic challenges, although, for Na'Vi. Again, they did a great job at setting pace. They got that initial kill and then slowed things down, recognizing out that Wildcard were falling into the same tracks that they did, which is, hey, somebody died. We need to slow things down. Let's just try and play for info, try and play for picks, try and get this man advantage back to equal, and it doesn't work out. They try to go for that aggressive take at the very end, swinging it through windows, coming up from white stairs for trades. But Na'Vi just played the game better, and that's exactly how it's supposed to go when you have man advantage. Granted, the trades go back and forth, but by the end of it, you'll still be up 2-1.
Well, and I think something we still should try and mention as often as possible, this is not supposed to be Wildcard's map. And yet they still stand in a very strong position. Now Na'Vi's 1 round or 2 rounds away from tying this, and 1 round away from really having the possibility of sending this to overtime. Like we said, though, it only takes 1 mistake from Na'Vi. The real challenge will come on Coastline, though. That's a map that's strongly favored for Wildcard. It's one of their best maps in their entire pool. Not saying that Na'Vi is any slouch on Coastline. Obviously, all of EU love Coast. But Wildcard is looking a little more prepared and a little more energetic and used to Coastline than they are on Kafe. And for Na'Vi to go down so bad on their attacks, it's a difference maker that I don't think many had predicted.
This is a Na'Vi that we expected to come out and play on the offensive side. Again, as you guys saw the stat earlier, and if you didn't, let me say it for you, Na'Vi's the most effective team on offense on Kafe throughout the entire world, winning 59% of their offensive rounds on this map. They only found 1 on their offensive side up against Wildcard, which was wild, to say the least. So Na'Vi on the defensive side, though, have been able to string things together. They're trying to force this OT. This is their map choice. You guys will be able to keep track of that throughout the entire weekend. It'll be in the top left of your screen when we are on the regular heads-up display for you viewers at home.
On the flip side of that, though, Wildcard only has 1 attack.
That is true.
Which is very different because of the scoreline right now, but they only have 1 attack. We are getting a hard breacher this time around from Wildcard. We do have Diesel finally on a Thermite, his most commonly played operator, as he is that Thermite smoke main. But we also have a Clash coming out from Kendrew. So again, with the role swaps here, Pi going back and forth in the Echo, and that's an Echo drone being spotted now by Neofighter. You can recognize that with the extreme vertical leap that it just took. You know, it was onto the ceiling of the landing of White Stairs, and Wildcard have done a really excellent job of establishing that top control and holding flanks on stairwells. There hasn't been a whole lot of resistance coming out from Na'Vi in terms of that top control. Emerin has almost had free reign, unless he's being blown up on rappel by a nitro cell. He's had absolutely a party upstairs, being able to cause havoc for the defenders. The only real problem for Wildcard is when they executed or converted for an execute onto site, they didn't lock down anyone inside a bakery, and it was a crossfire between bakery and the double doorway from Whiskey Bar to push in that really tripped them up.
That's the thing that's been so damaging from Na'Vi so far, is Wildcard has all the map control in the world, but Na'Vi's done such a good job of being able to shut down these executions before they even happen. They're the ones with the aggressive plays. They take the peaks, they take the gunfights, and they continue to win them from the comfort of their own site. They're not doing it offside, there's no rotations. They're just able to hold separate portions of the map horizontally instead of vertically.
Well, that's partially softball on Freezer, and Diesel's going to open up the left-hand side that is reinforced, but
I really hope this wasn't forgotten.
This is a lot of presence in towards Freezer. I hope this wasn't forgotten either. The drone's coming out onto Nello, but saves will start things off onto Emerin. That's up to the floorboards. A beautiful shot that was required to be landed. Honestly, that much pressure from up above is still lethal for the members of Na'Vi on site. How they'll be able to deal with Kendrew is an entirely different story, but Dirtbay will take down Saves after it looked like Save was going to be the savior of this round here for Na'Vi. He's going to lose his life on a stretch out in towards Bakery. A good adaptation there. Got recharges coming out with only 38 seconds. Wildcard have to collapse onto the site, and their execute has to be better than the last few times.
Pi's already got plenty of damage done to him. Frag grenades now pouring in. Wildcard has to get aggressive. They need another pick, though. They're looking for it. It's already been a rotate. Oh, can he get the kill on a Citizen? He challenges back. Citizen gets put in a body bag. Pi's going to equalize out, though. Oh, no, it's going to be from upstairs with a rotate from the Clash. We're still on equal footing, though. Pi, plenty of damage done to him. But these two, Ethan and Derp, have found so many rounds so far. They're going to continue to force it. But Kendrew, Ethan! Wildcard with the first match. Oh my God, what a statement.
The ANZ upset of round number 1 here in our Pro League finals in Tokoname. The analyst desk said throw away the map, and Wildcard said to hell with your ideas, we're taking the damn thing. 7-4 victory on Kafe here for Wildcard GG. And the Australians take map number 1. To the analyst desk we go. Gassan, take it away.
Thank you very much, Flynn and the casters here. I think one thing we can definitely take away from this one is everything that James says is not to be believed. So let's recap through this. Of course, first of all, let's explain why we're so effectively putting Wildcard on the side in this map specifically.
Well, goddamn, they played well. I think we definitely underestimated them, and so did Na'Vi. Na'Vi actually looked scared a couple of times, like they were running away from gunfights. They only started really waking up later on in the game, and with bringing something like a Thatcher Jägerband, I don't get why Na'Vi's not running. Like, it took them until round, I think, 3 before they even brought nades.
Yeah, it was Sledge, and it's like, well, finally.
Yeah, they're running Ashes, their own only projectile, and it seems like such a waste.
Yeah, something that really surprised me for Wildcard, and the thing that brought me to say that, because of course everyone out here is looking at Na'Vi like the team to win this. I think that's absolutely safe. People from APAC or people who have watched a lot of APAC games want to give Wildcard that credit. But that said, they actually, Wildcard, I looked at every result in the last 6 months, everything since April, and they've won Kafe once, lost it twice. So they have a negative win ratio on this map. Whereas Na'Vi, we're talking about how it's one of their best. So I think it's pretty safe that we did have those expectations that Na'Vi would take the map. Wildcard, they've predicted the ban phase, they've practiced the heck out of Kafe, stacked the deck.
And even though they messed up a little bit with nades left and right, man, they made a fool of everyone. That was Na'Vi's got a lot to do.
Look, the biggest fool in this matchup was definitely Na'Vi. So,
I mean, it's a shame to say for the UK champions and for the team that is now the European Pro League champions, 0 to Hero, we've been talking about that. They came out ahead of Giants. Like, that's crazy. Giants are such a good team. Na'Vi took first seed over them after such a consistent season, but we're into best of 3 territory now. So they do have an opportunity to redeem themselves after that one map. That said, man, you're going into Coastline against Wildcard. I mean, it happened to be that Na'Vi's Instaban was Wildcard's best map, But Coastline's not far behind Bank in terms of how good Wildcard is on that map.
The thing I'm afraid of for Navi right now is that I think they thought this was going to be 100% guaranteed victory on Kafe, and it would have been foolish to not think that, just looking at stats and how they've actually played, right? Sure, Wildcard, they're far from a bad team, but Navi didn't even play close to what we're used to seeing them do. They were missing shots, they were looking afraid. Like, if you're tilted at 4-0 and you're slowly coming back, but you still lose the map that you were 100% sure you're going to win, that's not looking good for your next one.
It was just mistakes. They didn't use the utility that they had afforded themselves with those operator bans. Overall, map 1 handily goes to Wildcard. Even with the comeback that we saw in Navi in the second half, it just did not matter. But let's focus on map number 2, Coastline, for now. First of all, I want to talk about operator bans, and then we can dig deeper into the strategies, especially I believe James will have some things to dig into for Wildcard. But we saw the operator bans did not go well at all for Navi in this one. What do you expect Alex to change?
Well, I really want to see Wildcard do Thatcher Jaeger again. I'm a big advocate of that. I'm a massive fan. It's the only two that can't really be replaced. And if you do that on Coastline, it's really not fun. We saw G2 versus Empire ban Jaeger on Coastline in a 22-round match. Nades are terrifying on that map. And you can stand at the top of roof and call with Doki, and you can hear everyone that's in and around the whole map, so you can be precise with your nades.
Yeah, and if you get rid of the Jaeger, it makes it so much easier to enable that. For Wildcard, Coastline, like I said, it's a really good map, has been for a really long time. Operator bans in the APAC region and ANZ, what they're familiar with is trying to remove that vertical play. So Hookah has been a primary bomb site for a really long time in ANZ. The rest of the world's a primary bomb site now. But one of the best ways to displace those players inside and around Hookah is with a buck from below. So that's commonly what we'll see banned out in the APAC region. Sometimes a Pulse as well, another operator that has a lot of good vertical potential, denying plants from below. So I expect to see that buck ban coming from Wildcard, and honestly, Navi should be expecting that, because if they've watched their most recent match on Coastline, it was in the APAC finals against Cyclops, and they won, and they banned those operators.
And I think what the adaptation will be, just let's bring an Ashe, let's bring a Zofia, let's bring a Jackal. We can deal with everything from the bottom in blue bar just by using the operators, and then the buck wouldn't be that big of a problem for them to deal with. Jackal, how important is this op going to be for this one? Because rotations around the map are very common for Coast.
I think it's a lot easier to cut off rotations on Coast with pretty much any operator than most of the maps. So Jackal is more to, you get the ping and then you block them in and get the kill on them, right? It's more for the hunting the kill than to actually stop the roam. But if they do end up banning Buck, there is some sort of overlap in Gridlock sidearm shotgun, Jackal sidearm shotgun. You do have your Sophia and your Ashe. So there is other ways to make these vertical plays, but you're sure limited quite a lot by doing it.
We did see that on Kafe. In fact, when Emorin was picked early, he was the buck player. We saw Derp, I believe it was, playing the Gridlock, going for that vertical play with the shotgun. Something I do expect to see out of Wildcard that I don't think I've ever seen it in another region is the way the Penthouse meta has come back into favor more recently. Penthouse once upon a time was the most favored bomb site on this map, and Wildcard kind of pioneered a different way to hold it. They make a rotation between the bedroom itself into VIP. They play 2 ACOGs, one guy inside VIP, maybe usually a Doc and a Rook, depending on what gets banned, maybe an Echo if it's free, and then another player usually in Hall of Fame, Guitar as people call it, and they don't let anyone on that VIP balcony. Now an aggressive kind of play like that, that's something that if you're not prepared for it, it can catch you. Even if it only loses you 1 round, that's 1 round you're never going to get back. So I really hope Navi has watched that and is prepared for that kind of an aggressive...
I don't think that's going to surprise Navi, because it's fairly, well, I wouldn't say common, but teams like Giants has done that quite a lot as well, where they play basically from pool table covering almost everything on the bomb side. So I don't think it's going to really throw a wrench in it or truly surprise them. But it's still something that's a little bit different, and you don't get to do it that much. And right now, Navi is kind of on the back foot.
Yep. Something that we often talked about was how Wildcard don't have experience in international meta. Well, Navi, yeah, they come from the most competitive region by far. They actually have very, very little experience against teams outside that region. In fact, the only team that I looked at a lot of matches from Navi. The only team I could find that they played, it's outside of EU, was Rogue. And that was at DreamHack Valencia, and they lost out to Rogue. So the only time Navi has ever played a non-EU team, they lost. And this could be 2 for 2.
In all fairness, that match is so far back that I wouldn't even call it the same team. The way they've been
you would definitely not call Rogue the same team.
No. Yeah, fair enough.
Do we really want to get into that? I mean, July's pretty recent, like just a couple months ago, and I don't know. I think that this is absolutely where the pressure is mounting for Na'Vi. Wildcard came in here with no expectation. They didn't have to do anything. They'd already made it to this event. That was a big enough step for them. Na'Vi, on the other hand, they've got a lot of work to do. We saw them come back in the season against G2. Maybe they can do it here as well.
Yeah, I mean, this was a success for Wildcard just getting here, whereas for Na'Vi, getting here just it doesn't mean that much because of the performance from other teams.
All right, well, let's take a look at what map number 2 will offer. We're going to go to Coastline. It's still Wildcard versus Na'Vi. Hajime!
Thank you very much, Gassan, and we're back, ladies and gentlemen. It's map number 2 between Na'Vi and Wildcard. You see the records, and this is why we're talking. Wildcard are on home field here on Coast.
You and I were talking about it before, and I really feel like we can actually say this now, Flynn. Na'Vi's on upset alert. This is a very, very dangerous place to be right now. Wildcard has their sights set on you, and you have to try and fight out of it.
Na'Vi going to be starting on the attack as well. They didn't look as coordinated on the attacking side. Obviously, Kafe is going to sway that opinion. That what you see from them attacking on Kafe, hopefully that doesn't transfer over. He has the Lion band going to tag in with the Hibana band, so you're not going to get a lot of breaching from range here. You're not going to get a lot of holding down entries or maybe some quick entries into some bomb sites. There goes the Mira. So we're getting back to the norm of the operator bands that we usually see from both of these teams.
Just wait for a second.
Just wait.
I want to hold your breath.
Okay,
no, we're going to have the echo.
We're pretty normal. We're pretty normal right now. This is a return to reality.
All right.
In terms of operator bans. But like I said, hopefully a lot of those troubles that were plaguing Na'Vi on the first half of Kafe when they were attacking don't come back.
Yeah.
You know, that timidness, the inability to drone and gather intel, the stalling, you know, that kind of stuff really will take rounds away from you very quickly. You know, it's a very, very swift ramp up from, you know, okay, we got 2 minutes left to, holy crap, there's 45 seconds left. We got to go, and we haven't moved.
Yeah, stalling out's a major thing for Na'Vi right now. They need to bring it back to center, have that communication with their teammates in order to progress further even after they lose someone. It seems like that's really stalling their progress is if they don't get that opening kill, which is something that Na'Vi's not known for at all. They're known to be, hey, it's 2v5, we're still going for these entry kills, we don't care. And yet this time around, it just does not seem to be in the cards for them. Now, what this is going to be is, can Na'Vi keep that mentality? Can they bring it back? What's this team built like?
So we're going to start downstairs. We're going to start on a Sunrise and Blue Bar defense on Coastline. Not the most common starting point on Coast, but hey, Wildcard have been anything but normal so far.
I'm telling you, buddy, you're going to be shook by the end of this Coastline game. I'm telling you, I was glued to the screen last night watching their Coastline game from ANZ. It was crazy.
Yeah, and you know, Dev was talking about it as well. The fact they were able to take down Cyclops as well, one of the better fragging teams, one of the most aggressive teams in all of APAC. Japanese team as well that unfortunately did not make it all the way here, but Wildcard proving that they belong, already taking Na'Vi's map off them. This is Wildcard's map, and Na'Vi elected. Because it is Wildcard's map, Na'Vi chose to start an attack. So I think that instills some confidence in me that their woes from attacking on Kafe or by the wayside, they aren't going to creep back up and haunt them here on Coastline. But they need to get off to a hot start. You cannot be losing momentum early here, already surrendering your own map.
I'm going to hold my breath before I try and say anything about what Na'Vi coulda, shoulda, woulda on this map, especially after this first round. And this is what we've been talking about the entire time. Wildcard are not afraid to be outside at all. There's not very many teams that are this aggro to the outside of the map. On every single map. We'll see teams on, for instance, like Consulate and stuff like that get aggressive to the outside of the map, but they're doing it every single time. Good news is, though, Na'Vi will be starting us off this time around with 2 big kills. Citizen start to bring things back.
There go Neo and Diesel now. So one Roamer and one Anchor. Nitrocell is going to miss as well. So a lot of utility expended either in the graveyard or by missed opportunities here for Wildcard. Frag grenade getting set up to be sent down the cool 5 stairs, but the ADS will save them. The Jaeger is still in play this time around. Ethan gets his life saved by his fallen comrade, and he'll get the kill for it. There goes Citizen looking up to the floorboards, looking for more. Spots the head, and there he goes. Ethan with the 2 bang up to the floorboard, saving the round so far now for Wildcard.
Jackal Tracks coming out. Navi's going to need a lot more than that to try and get into double bar now. Wildcard forcing the opposition. Derp's going to be in a gunfight as well. He's locking down the angle. Did he down him? No, he downed him twice. One down downside. Saves it though. Be able to rotate outside and pick up Kendrew. That's going to be the Jackal you guys saw tried to bail himself out by jumping over the bars, but didn't work out for him too much. But now you have two people on such minuscule HP. Wildcard can win this out, and Ethan still poised in a very aggressive spot. Na'Vi rotating over to Office.
Look at the whole rotation now from Na'Vi, knowing that pushing into Sunrise is a no-go. The last two remaining members here for Wildcard, Emorin and Ethan, they try to soft breach their way in through the Office wall. Rotate now from Kendra. This is smart to lock down the lobby presence. Ethan doing battle on the one-taps against a prone member inside of Office. Looks like all it's going to take is one bullet as Saves and Kendra both rattle out shots. Nello going in for the plant. They got no idea, no intel that plant's going down, and they're not going to make a move. This is going to be a 3v2 post plan here for Na'Vi. Good situation, but just not the health. All it's going to take is a couple shots here from Wildcard to turn it on its head and give themselves the advantage. An upside down rappel all the way outside the Office door here, trying to get rid of the stinger traps on the floor, holding their rotation. They've got lobby locked down as well from Kendrew. Seems like they're aware of that, taking damage from the traps to walk all the way in, standing on the diffuser, but there goes Nello. Both remaining attackers on 1 HP. Prone inside of the courtyard, down to the 1v1. Emorin trying to stick, but turning the corner is Saves, doing a little bit of damage. Pistol in hand, he still has time to get the kill and run it on back. Will he get there in time? Emorin, we count down the clock. 4, 3, 2, 1. It doesn't look like he's gonna get it. Na'Vi, by the skin of their teeth, will take round number 1.
And if you guys aren't here regularly, you know how much that round and how close it was just by the energy getting imbued by this man sitting across from me, because my God, was that close. Na'Vi looking to make it a barn burner here, bring it back. Can they win each other's maps? That's going to be the big question coming through Coastline. Now, we're going to be going off to hookah. This is the regular site that we see defenses start, is that hookah setup. But the thing is, Wildcard plays this a little bit out of the ordinary, and we'll have to see if they go for the 6 pick here. They're not going to. So, back on their previous VOD of this map, instead of having Smoke play inside of couches, they would have a Kaid play inside of couches in order to lock down all of the meta walls around. The good news is now, though, is that they don't have to do that because Hibana's not on the board. Wildcard banned Hibana out. So since she's not there, you don't have to go for that setup, but it's such a creative way to be able to hold down couches and play it safely.
Well, Wildcard, despite battling back from a 3v5 disadvantage, and honestly, about a second was the difference maker in that round. They're going to swap off. They're not going to go back to Sunrise and Blue Bar. We're going to go up to Hookah now for the defense. And like you said, we usually have an interesting set of operators in terms of positioning here for Wildcard, but not going to happen this time around. No Kaid being selected. And of course, no Hibana, so you don't have to worry about the breach at range. You can probably contest that breach from a little closer up onto that VIP wall should Na'Vi look to go for a far side take in towards Penthouse Theater and Hall of Fame.
Well, as the timer continues to tick down in round 2 here, Wildcard overall, I really like that they're continuing that aggression. That's what they need to do. Keep with the same play style. It's been working so far. Why change something that isn't broken? So I'm happy that even though it went down to those 2 members remaining, they were still able to take the gunfights and win things out. Granted, they didn't get the diffuser. It was by the skin of his teeth. But still, Na'Vi going to be winning out on the very first round. I feel like this is going to be going blow for blow this time around.
Seems like a map where both teams can really start flexing a little bit and get a little more momentum and maneuverability. Kendrew on 1 HP, a tiny kill hole there from Derpe. So looks down to the floorboards to try and suppress any entry into the Sunrise bar, and that's exactly what's going to happen to Kendrew. No luck there, no entry, and Ethan, again, with all these Valkyrie cameras going out, so much intel being gathered. If Derpe got that opening pick onto Kendrew as well, it could have been a huge difference maker in keeping that intel alive outside. And there goes the first pick now. Looks like it's Nello taking down one of the members of Wildcard. Neofighter is down and in a grave now, 6 feet under as we hit the midway point on the round.
Yeah, can't stim yourself up when you're dead. So all those are also going to be burnt away. We're on equal footing practically this time, and there you go. Ethan with the aggressive peek. Kendrew, still plenty of damage done to him. Diesel's actually going to match him, though, as he gets down. So we are, for all rights, going going to take the words out right out of my mouth, though, as Kendrew's going to falter. A minute left. Navi and Wildcard, again, just trading blow for blow back and forth. Feels like we're watching a heavyweight match right now, as Derp's going to go for 2. That's going to be a double for him on the round. Continuing to try and force this. Citizen, though, now just trying to crouch up VIP, and this could work out for him. Slow and steady wins the race, but do they have the information? Does he possibly have a black eye? The information will be known now on where he is. The pre-fire's coming through as he continues to try and back off. We only have 45 seconds remaining now, but it's going to be a long angle. No, he drone-holed him. What was that from Imran?
Looking for the bullet holes. Nello will get 1, though, as Derpe peeks on up, but everyone's stacking by the face, awaiting the approach for Nello. No utility left. Diffuser in hand in a 1v3 in the midst of a crossfire. Gets 1 on the Diesel and a second one on Imran. Nello! Are you kidding me? The 1v4! Navi up 2-0! What the hell just happened?
Ounce of luck, pound of skill. We are in the land of the rising sun, Flynn, but it's also the land of opportunity for Navi to make it 2-0. And I don't know how you battle back from that if you're Wildcard, because my God, what a way to show up.
That crossfire got picked apart, and honestly, like you said, a lot of skill there from Nello, but a little bit of a lineup there from Wildcard contributing to the factors that made that entire clutch possible. And if you're Wildcard, I find it hard to believe that you are not shook from this. There goes Diesel, the instant transfer and the re-peek here from Ethan, sprinting into the hallway.
That was an ace on the round.
That was an ace for Nello in the 1v4 clutch. You have got to be kidding me.
I'm gonna take this suit jacket off, Flynn. It's getting a little hot in here, my man. Oh my gosh.
Well, after Wildcard took Navi to the woodshed for the first half on Kafe, we've now got Navi battling back out of some pretty tricky scenarios and taking a 2-0 lead early. And like you mentioned, Samuel, please, it's the penthouse and theater defense.
I'll take it away from you for just a second, my friend. If you guys notice, we have what we call the ACOG brothers. It's going to be Doc and Rook. And if you guys notice, there's a reinforcement missing somewhere, Flynn. Well, I can tell you exactly where it is. It's going to be on the penthouse to VIP wall. We already have an early kill go down. That's going to be the Rook trying to get aggro outside. But traditionally, how this is supposed to be set up, you'll have Rook play inside of VIP with impacts to make a safe rotate back. If he needs to get out of VIP, they don't reinforce the panel next to DJ equipment in there, so he's able to do that. Then they have Doc play inside of Guitar, where you see him right now, and they play extremely aggro out to the VIP balcony. It's a very unique setup, but it appears that it's known by Navi at this point in time.
Taking it apart 1 by 1, Pi taking some damage, and Neophyter still trying to aggress with Derpe. Or sorry, Diesel now, as they've filled into VIP to hold the holes that have now been opened up by Ethan and Derpe's demise. Now Neophyter contesting, he'll get 1 onto Citizen, turning the corner for more, but Pi hits the deck and will trade him on back out. Imran now taking damage to the track stingers and shut down. Nello refusing to back off after his incredible clutch, and Navi put it up on the board 3 in a row.
Is this opposite day? It might be opposite day, folks, because they're winning each other's maps. Can they possibly bring this back? Wildcard needs to wake up. They're playing their unique setups, and it's just not working out for them. Do they go back to default? What's the game plan? This is where the adjustments have to come in. This is a highlight of a top-tier team. When you're getting beat down, can you make the adjustments to pull it out on your map? Right now, Wildcard is just not there. What a shot from Saves. These guys are warming up. This is going to be a very, very dangerous.
Oh, good night. Good night.
I think your North America is showing. I'm sorry, hold on.
My NA is showing, yo, my bad.
What, where? Just, oh man, what a game so far, folks. We hope you're enjoying it at home, because we sure are enjoying it on the desk.
Well, this is what I wanted to see from Navi. No timidness, ready to jump in for engagements, ready to swing right off the timer start. At 3-0-0, you are ready to swing. That's what we needed to see from Navi early on Kafe. It took him a little while to wake up, and Wildcard took advantage. But now on Coastline, oh baby, is Navi wide awake.
Complete honesty, I think Navi's just pissed off. It really feels like that. These gunfights that they're taking, they're ready for a pixel to be shown, and they're removing that pixel off of the game. Because right now, They've shut down Wildcard so much, Flynn, that it doesn't even look like they're in the server after round 1.
It's a tough break here now for Wildcard, as it seems like they've lost their edge, they've lost their momentum, and talked about it maybe being Wildcard's map, but you saw the record, 10-2-1. That's 13 games of VODs out there, and it looks like Na'Vi has done a lot of homework.
That's the danger of playing your favorite map so much and having such recent VOD. Ethan's gonna get aggressive, he immediately gets shut down. It's gonna be the 1x battle. Citizen comes out on top, but what else would you expect from him? He's one of the most effective players on this entire team on this entry roll.
Repel in now from Citizen onto the VIP balcony, looking to continue on where everyone has left off. It was the great stand of Hall of Fame last round, and looking to get rid of this deployable shield, burning out the ADS, and Citizen looking to take away the advantage that Diesel and Dirtbay will have being able to play inside of couches. Well, looks like that actually got caught out by another ADS. I didn't hear an explosion to take care of the shield, but drones inside of Hookah spotting many members now for Wildcard on the deck. Oh, but Dirtbay with the reaction on the saves brings Wildcard back to life, and the deployable shield will still stand.
Somebody's got to step up for Wildcard right now and shut down Na'Vi. They're playing a little bit passive still on site, but it seems to be working out for them this time around. VIP control still in the hands of Na'Vi as they're trying to pressure Aquarium, just making it to where no one can possibly rotate across safely. Nilo going to be pre-firing down low, but can't find too much saves. He's going to fall on the other end of the map, though, but it's going to get traded back by default. Nello's going to try and find some safe haven inside of Aquarium now, though, as Wildcard shuts down the initial take.
Remaining attackers split once again as Kendrew's off outside of the Hookah balcony and Nello alone carrying the diffuser. Kendrew's gonna go for Repel and try and take care of Dirtbay on the Hookah windows, going upside down, removing the barricade, and I imagine Dirtbay's willing and ready to peek this. Kendrew, unaware of the positioning, as that drone that was underneath the couches seems to have been taken care of now. He'll head to the roof now. The last set of tracks will come out from Nello. Looks like maybe Emerin or Neo would go for a swing onto Nello, try and take the 1v1 while they have it, peeking up and waiting for the drop. There goes Kendrew. Emerin taking aim, and now Nello trying to retreat towards 90. Default cam up will be spotting him, and Emerin is still in 90. Nello turns the corner just in time. The pings come out into the hallway. Can it be another run back of a clutch here and a 1vx for Nello as he barges into the bomb site, peeking around the corner? But no, Wildcard will shut him down in his tracks, literally. And finally, Wildcard are on the board on Coastline.
Neo letting him know after, hey, we're here to play. Put some bullets in that body, keep it moving. Not Wildcard trying to bring things back now. That hold overall was exactly what it needed to be. They got aggressive from site. You didn't see too many rotations come through. And that's the thing for Na'Vi. They got that VIP control early, but they are not able to shut down any movement between the two sites. That deployable shield in the middle of the hallway definitely helped them out quite a bit. Wildcard, though, even bringing it down to the 3 versus 2, they got that initial pick on some smart play from 90 through those little fencing areas in the white stone wall. Knock it down to the 3 versus 1, play passively. He has to try and get aggro. Don't give him those gunfights.
Well, it looks like Wildcard is starting to strike back here at Na'Vi's impeccable start to the game, and honestly, there's an argument to be had that Na'Vi did not deserve 2 of those 3 rounds, honestly. The attack onto this very bomb site looked like it should have been well in the favor of Wildcard, and 1 second separated the difference between Wildcard starting off with a 1-0 lead and Na'Vi escaping by the skin of their teeth. Then Nello with the 1v4 clutch ace on the round again. They've only really won 1 round convincingly, and right now for Wildcard, you got to be thinking nerves are starting to get to them. Like they said, they're here for experience. They didn't expect to win, but man, are they in a position to be the biggest upset of this entire event, and all they got to do right now is refocus and get themselves back in the game. They are not outside of reach of tying this up by any stretch heading into the half.
I think if anything has been said about these 2 teams so far, Flynn, especially from us, we're coming in, we've never casted Wildcard before. We had to talk so much to our APAC representatives here and say, hey, what's their play style like? What can we expect going into this cast? Everything has been blown out of the water. This isn't a skill check between these 2. It's a mentality check. Who wants it more?
Well, we're gonna find out real quick here. Lots of spots coming out onto Dirtbay, playing the Maestro inside of Kitchen right now. So this stretch again, similar to what he did last time around, but he's being swarmed by drones. just unrelenting right now from Na'Vi on the intel gathering, and they're going to spot Ethan at the kitchen door as well. So a good hold here from Citizen, making sure that Derpe won't have any support. He's going to be on an island down towards service, and he won't have any possibility of rotating back, and Na'Vi want to address this problem early. Last time they tried to avoid it and go for the full rotation around outside to office. After losing a lot of members, trades on damage there, Neo's going to get the worst end of that one, thanks to the incredible firepower of that F2.
Neo's going to need a little bit of help upstairs. They need to try and fight for this vertical control. That's why Pi was going upstairs so early on. Nello to start us off, though, and it's going to be under Derp. That man has been lighting the world on fire so far. Nello now has control of kitchen, which is extremely useful on this site. You're able to shut down a lot of rotation, even from Cool Vibes as well. If you're able to hold that kitchen, you have a leg to stand on. Diesel will pull us back to equal, though, after he takes down the man with the F2.
There goes Pi outside, so a kitchen side take here for Na'Vi. They're doing a good job of clearing out Sunrise, but it's top control as long as there's enough kill holes placed in some opportune places. Wildcards could still hold this from above. Doesn't look like there's many members still left on the site. Emerin and Diesel right now, the lone man's in towards Sunrise. They've abandoned Blue Bar for the most part, but understandable given the entire bottom of the quad wall into Courtyard being ripped apart by their own shotguns. One man right now for Na'Vi inside of the office, and Neo will look to lock him down if they try and go in for a plant. 50 seconds on the clock here. You're still in a good spot to try and go for a plant, and Citizen will take down what was left of Neophyter upstairs. The smokes come out. Challenging in towards the main lobby as Diesel will try and help out Emerin. It's just Ethan left alone upstairs trying to play these kill holes. There goes Kendra onto Emerin, though. The plant going down. This is looking dire here for Wildcard. Ethan taking more damage. The plant is completed. No shots landing from that SMG-11 shot in towards the depths of kitchen. And they'll do their best to try and clear out the courtyard, but it won't be successful either. Diesel alone stands no chance. And Na'Vi getting back on the board up 4-1.
As soon as I thought we were going to be talking about how Na'Vi stalled out, they go up one more gear, and they're able to find the round because of it. Fantastic objective control, able to get that diffuser down inside of Blue Bar. No one could possibly rotate across with all of the angles that were being held from upstairs as well as inside of kitchen. Just fantastic play so far from Na'Vi on Coastline. Again, this is all in Wildcard's court. They need to try and play more to the outside of the map. It seems to have been working so far for them. But that time around, they slowed things down just a little bit too much. They assumed that Na'Vi was going to fall back into the same issues that they had on Kafe. Well, they continued to stall out once that opening kill did not go their way. Well, they have Citizen now. He's warmed back up, he's here to play, and he's definitely fragging out.
Well, we got one round left in the half here. It's going to be Wildcard still on the defense. Their last opportunity to win a defensive round and keep themselves in it. And honestly, the storyline and the scoreline here is looking eerily similar to Kafe. Na'Vi's been dominating their opening duels with a 13-3 lead. Honestly, the way we saw Kafe going, that's a little shocking of a stat to see considering the stalling we saw on the attacking side from Na'Vi. But on the defense, yeah, a lot of that rings true.
I would have to completely agree with you on that front. But I think the main thing to take away from that is Wildcard does not slow down. All gas, no brakes. Well, we are going to be jumping into round 5 now. Still a little bit of a unique setup here. Wildcard poised to try and hold down practically every piece of the map that they can. Unique setup here from Neo. We don't see this too often, but it is still kind of a regular thing. Hold the top of main stairs, make yourself some punch holes for bait, then put a couple bullet holes so you can view in towards Guitar as well as Penthouse. Na'Vi now, though, on the offensive side, still have been playing lights out so far, only skipping one round, which still came pretty close. It came down to 1v3, but, I mean, after the round they were gifted earlier, they at least needed one.
One of the best adaptations that we've seen from Na'Vi so far is suppressing and really oppressing this opening kill from Wildcard that they wanted to get, and at least the aggression, you know, the jump outs, the run outs from windows, the run outs from doors, especially over by that Sunrise entrance. It's a huge difference maker here for Na'Vi to get that early momentum and shut down that kind of emotional rampage that Wildcard have been going on every time they start doing some damage. Obviously losing the opening kill battle 13-3, but at least they've been stepping into some gunfights early, but Na'Vi have been shutting them down at every turn. Yeah, there you go. Diesel trying to go prone, look through a tight angle in towards the service door, but read beautifully like an open book by Nello, and he continues his dominant run so far on Coast.
And we also have another player, Pi, upstairs instead of the penthouse area. He does have one man to worry about, but for Na'Vi, this seems like a blanket take here. They want every single piece of the map that they can possibly get their hands on. They've been gifted Sunrise, and Citizen will quickly move in, take over map control, and all of a sudden things are going to get a little bit tighter on site. We still have some presence off site from Wildcard. If that rotate comes back in, it could bag them a couple of kills. Neo starts us off, and that's going to be Kendrew. No more IQ on the board.
Shots there, and good perseverance to win out that gunfight. Derpe will take down saves as well, so looking good here for a Wildcard to be able to run it back and at least head into the half, only down 4-2. Looking for a swift entry into the service door will be Pi on that Nomad. Trying to stop rotations at ease here for a Wildcard, and Citizen on the precipice of the bomb site. Beautiful flick there onto what was left of Neo. There goes Pi as well onto Ethan. The plank going down from Nello. An attempted retreat, but Pi two back-to-back, and it's all Derpe alone inside a courtyard. Oh, it's Na'Vi, and there's no stopping them now. Constant comebacks on the rounds, and Derpe has no shot. It's 5-1, baby, and it looks like we're going to map 3 soon.
That's going to be a triple kill for Citizen on the round and a double for Pi overall. And if you guys thought he was just a sub, I can tell you he's here for the dub. The man's playing lights out so far throughout this entire series. Even on Kafe, when things seemed so dire, he was still able to put up quite a few respectable stats on the board. So overall, this is not a Na'Vi without Doki. This is just Na'Vi.
So we swap sides now, and we turn our attention towards Na'Vi's defense and Wildcard's attack. Honestly, just the opening deaths right now for Wildcard being a little worrisome, especially on that round. Diesel going for the prone peak, but they continuously battle to a point in rounds where even if they are the opening death, they have a man advantage at some point. They've just surrendered man advantages left and right on this map in the later portions of rounds, and that's been extremely detrimental. They just haven't been able to clutch up when a site execute comes. It's a very different looking Na'Vi compared to map number 1 right now. And for Wildcard, again, you're in that same kind of boat that Na'Vi was in when you swapped sides on Kafe. Now you've kind of got to refocus a little bit and really worry about getting back into the game 1 round at a time, not trying to look at the mountain as a whole, just take it 1 step and continue to work your way back in it, because we saw Na'Vi work their way back into Kafe. It was just too much of a hole to climb out of.
The big question is, can Na'Vi channel the exact same information game that they just had on the offense? I mean, you guys saw, it seemed like they were playing with the Sixth Sense. That Sixth Sense is that info game. When people are dead, you have drones set up, you can find it wherever any of these Wildcard members are rotating. If they're able to or if they're able to keep that up on the defensive side, we are most definitely going to that 3rd map.
Well, we're going to start on hookah and billiards here for the defensive side for Na'Vi. I'm not really all that shocked. And the operator lineup here for Wildcard, very different than what we saw them bringing on Kafe. Very different operators, obviously different tasks required. You don't need a hard breacher, but that didn't stop Wildcard on Kafe either. They really didn't feel like they needed a hard breach on Kafe. So they're very flexible right now. You do have the Nomad instead of the Gridlock this time, trying to contain flanks. We've got Ethan on Ashe now, and for Neo being the primary entry on the team, that's interesting, is Neo's still going to be taking up the Zofia, still doing his job, but Ethan on Ashe is some secondary fragging power. I like the duo as long as they can stick together and clear out portions of the map as a tandem.
Ethan is actually not too bad on entry for his team. Over the last 6 months, he's 26-17 overall. It's just that Neo, guys, is 43-27. Yeah. So a little bit of a better showing for him, but it's not going to be either of them to start us off on this round. It'll be Derp with that AK-74M. He's going to take quite a bit of damage for his leisure, though.
Well, I mean, it's well worth the sacrifice. You get rid of Kendrew, and you still stand at 40 HP. There goes the Maestro, there goes the Alda. And Marcia, welcome to the game, by the way. Didn't know you weren't in here the whole time, but welcome to the game a little bit late. Drones will be ascending up the Cool Vibes stairs here from Neofighter, trying to assess the situation on Cool Vibes, but he's got a flank coming down through the kitchen, but he shuts it down. There goes Pi. He's left on 5 HP, but he'll have to retreat now and join the rest of the team for the execute. A lot of smokes being burnt here, and Saves taking a handful of damage. A run out now by Citizen, and they'll take down Derpe.
They need to equalize here in the last minute. They have to shut down Wildcard's execution. You have to battle out of the box that they're trying to put you in. Citizen has aquarium control, and that's a highlighted area that you need in order to put a diffuser down on this site. Now, Wildcard needs to battle back, but it's going to continue to be the Na'Vi train as Saves continues to push to the envelope. Neo with the trade, though, is going to be a double for him on the round. Wildcard trying to bring things back now. It's 2v3 in favor of Wildcard. But again, lots of damage onto Neo. They need another pick, otherwise this could go into the hands of Na'Vi once again. Oh my, what a shot from Nello. He heard the rappel, and he immediately shuts it down. Citizen with the double. Oh my, can Na'Vi continue this reign? That will be so many rounds, only given Wildcard one so far. He had a Goomine in his foot. He goes for the challenge, but Na'Vi's just dancing back and forth, just trying to distract him. They know he's inside a hookah. It's gonna be a challenge. Diesel wins one. Can he win it with the pistol? No! He's gonna get blocked! And Na'Vi with 6 rounds.
Match point now for Na'Vi as they look to correct the errors that they made on Kafe. It's too late to get that map back. But yeah, we're gonna get a tag timeout here from Wildcard, and I don't think anyone's really surprised by that. It might even be a little too late here for Wildcard.
Yeah,
maybe turning our attention towards Clubhouse slightly early, but 6-1 lead right now for Na'Vi. They've guaranteed themselves overtime, just like Wildcard had on Kafe. It's looking pretty strong here for Na'Vi to send us all the way. Wildcard still has a chance to get back in it, but they just don't look like the same team like they were to start off Kafe.
Yeah, with the play style of these two teams across the 2 maps we've already seen so far, if we do end up getting to that point, unless Wildcard does something insane, obviously. I really want to see how this Clubhouse is going to go, because it's a map that really does not favor extremely aggressive play. And these two teams haven't been anything but slow when they're in their groove.
So we're going to wrap up the tactical timeout here for Wildcard, and you can see the faces right now. They're a little less than enthusiastic, I guess is the nicest way to put it. You can see Na'Vi talking, making sure they're keeping the communication open, making sure you're opening things up and listening to your other teammates right now. This is the precipice to push yourself to map 3 and make sure that, you know, we put them on upset watch. You don't want to head into Clubhouse still feeling a little shaky. You want to wrap this up nice and cleanly. Don't give Wildcard any room to get back into it. Don't give them any momentum to feed off of heading into Club. It's the decider, and right now, Na'Vi has won more rounds than Wildcard, so that means they get to pick side on Club.
It feels like we have seeding in this tournament, and Na'Vi is the #1 seed, and then you have like the #7 seed coming through, and they are just showing Na'Vi up. All except for now. I mean, that's why this game feels so close. Even though it's a 6-1, every single round is exciting.
I mean, those first 3 rounds were, those were something.
Oh my goodness, that plant.
Could have gone either way.
Yeah, round 1 just kind of set the tone for the rest of Coastline, didn't it?
Certainly been a fireworks show, and if you're not entertained by this game, I don't know what else to do for you. It's a 6-1 lead, and we're going to get a new operator thrown into the mix here as we get an IQ coming up for Wildcard, but more importantly, the cap is out. Diesel taking up the cap, trying to get some more displacement and some more coverage. You got 2 smoke bolts and you got 2 fire bolts. Try and push out some anchors and provide yourself some cover for an opportunity to plant. You're just going to have to wait for those evil eyes to be taken care of with the smokes. Not going to be as useful as you'd like them to be.
Well, Na'Vi going to be spacing out their information if you guys are paying attention to the Valkyrie, which I would always suggest that you do if you are on the defensive side when they do the full cam. Find the Valkyrie player, see where they're putting those cameras so you know how the information is coming in. They have quite a few black eyes upstairs in order to help out their roam game, especially with that information for those peaks. You don't want to peek with no info. That's going to help out Na'Vi on that front. We already have an entry, though, as Neo's coming in through offices. As we have another Siege GG, a little bit of information tidbit there for you. Since going 1-6 on map 1, Na'Vi have won 9 out of the subsequent 11 rounds. That's an impressive stat.
It really is, and it shows you that, yeah, Wildcard are still the underdogs. Don't get that twisted. They are still definitely the underdogs, and Na'Vi is a team to be reckoned with. It just so happens that one of those rounds they surrendered in the last 11 was the difference maker to push Wildcard over the edge and secure a victory on Kafe. For Wildcard, they've secured themselves map number 3. And I'm sure they're looking to build some momentum knowing that this map is all but lost. Unless we're going to see another situation like we saw between Na'Vi and G2 in Pro League, in which that was a complete run back of 6 in a row. I don't know that Wildcard really has that in them on Coastline. It is their home field. It is their more favored maps. But I really think Na'Vi, you got to give props to Jack and to Gig, the coaching staff for Na'Vi, as Dirtbay will start things off. But the homework that Na'Vi have done on Wildcard for their Coastline, it seems like at every turn they're reading them like an open diary.
Incredible execution from Wildcard onto Sunrise. Got the information early on saves being in behind the bar. Already had Buck rotated upstairs and all of a sudden turned from a safe space for Jaeger into shark-infested waters, and he just got eaten up. Na'Vi, though, still going to be aggressive. Kendra's going to start things off, finally equalizing. He's rotating through lobby, and that's going to be his second kill. He goes outside. He's looking for the third, but he can't find it as he rotates towards security.
Diesel, the last man standing outside of service now, so it looked like it was a pretty heavy stack there from Wildcard, but that's Kendrew shutting that down. Slow creep up here from Ethan. He spots the barrel of the gun, turning the corner, and there's the head slowly revealed to its penultimate demise. Diesel, though, alone carrying the diffuser in through lobby. He needs to rotate all the way around. Kendrew takes him down inside of the blue bar. That's 4 on the round, looking for the ace to wrap it all up. Diesel alone inside of the lobby, stranded with no friends left. Looking in towards the quad wall inside a courtyard. 18 seconds tick down, and it looks like we're going to be striking midnight on the clock here for Wildcard on Coastline, and Kendrew locks up the ace. Na'Vi will send us to Clubhouse.
2 aces in 1 game, Flynn, both by the members of Na'Vi. And again, it begs the question, are you not entertained? Everyone thought this was going to be a blowout. The desk, everyone at home, and it is anything but. We are going to map 3, and most importantly, Flynn is still cursed.
Still cursed, but we didn't go all the way on the run back on that one. Wildcard looking like they ran out of steam after those very, very hit or miss rounds in the beginning. Unfortunately for them, it was Na'Vi to strike back. But to understand what's been going on, let's send it over to Gassan, the boys. Break it down for us. Let us know what we're walking into for map number 3 on Club.
Thank you very much, casters, Flynn, Stokes, and everybody here, the Japanese cast. Welcome back to the analyst desk. We're going to break down this doozy of a game so far. Who would have thought that we'd be completely wrong on Kafe? Wildcard takes it. We go to Coastline. James like, you know what? This is Wildcard's map. They picked it. They're ready for it. Na'Vi absolutely wiped the floor with them. Do they have anything up their sleeves at this point?
Map 3's Clubhouse, completely different beast. It's a good map for both teams. The real surprising thing here is what we just witnessed. And that's nothing like we've seen from Wildcard on that map for a long time. They did lose it back in the Six Masters, the Australian National Tournament semi-finals, but that wasn't as bad as this. This was honestly a very surprisingly shocking performance from Wildcard on Coastline. And on the flip side, we were just talking about how Na'Vi turned it up on that map.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say Na'Vi was asleep, and maybe at another cafe when they were playing on that map. It was a very, very bad performance for them on that map. Wildcard did well. Let's not take that away from them. But Na'Vi was running from gunfights on Kafe, and on Coastline, they didn't care at all.
2 aces. 2 aces, one of which was a 1 versus 4 for Nello. That is, you don't see that every day.
You can't even blame Wildcard for doing anything wrong there, because they all tried to refrag, and sure, I mean, you could have asked them to stay in all their spots, make them work a little bit more for it, but there's nothing wrong with trying to refrag. That's, you know, your default reaction to everything.
But you want to try to refrag, but you don't have any information to play off of it. And when you have players from Na'Vi that are feeding info back to Kendrew, he's able to kind of dance around everyone.
The guy's stuck in 90. It's not like he can go anywhere. And he kills 4 people within 10 seconds.
Well, the Capitao left alive, I guess.
Yeah.
It really was a bit of a difficult situation, to say the least, for a Wildcard. But that was map 2. That's in the history books now, and really is the history books. 1-1 tie. We go to map 3, Clubhouse. Much more technical map. We've seen a lot of heart breach utilization on it. It's very important to ban them or use them correctly. Also, soft breachers still are very important because a lot of times, for example, the Zofia required to stun lock people in server. There's so many intricacies that come to Clubhouse, and I really want to dig through what Na'Vi has to offer on this, Alex.
Well, if we're talking about the server casual, there's about 100 ways to play around that, right? And and either deny the bandit trick or do Kates from below, or you can stack having a guy play close to the window so you can't use your Sophia trick. You can put a shield in front of a castle wall, and then you also can't Sophia trick him. There's a lot of things you can do to keep that wall closed. It's almost always getting open anyway. But I think Na'Vi has realized now that they're supposed to play like a good team. So going into Clubhouse, I think they got things a little bit more under control.
I think what's exciting here is we've had 2 maps where we thought Team A is really, really good and should win this. Team B, this is not a map that we expect to see them. Both of those have been reversed, obviously. And now Clubhouse, both of these teams are really good on Clubhouse. Both of them have really strong performances. Na'Vi, for example, defeated BDS, recently promoted into the Challenge League, 7-1 on this map during the Raleigh qualifier for Europe. And yet they've also lost it recently to other teams, including Vitality, when they played later on in that same bracket. A Wildcard, the same kind of story. They've had fantastic performances on Clubhouse, a 7-4 against Xavier. That's the Thailand team in the APAC qualifier to get here. They also lost to Airwolf later. So I expect both of these teams have watched a lot of the VODs on how the enemy team plays. And just because of the variety of things you can do for wall denial and wall opening on Clubhouse, I think that's really going to shake things up.
But even though there's a lot of variety in Clubhouse, it's still a fairly stable map, I feel like, because the 3 bomb sites that you normally play, your Jamie, your Cash, and your basement, are very, very strict in terms of what you have to do. So it doesn't leave that much room for, trying some new stuff. Yeah. There's still bar. We've seen it tried a little bit. It requires a little bit more development before I think that's completely ready. Yeah,
I don't want to write anything on the wall yet, because before map 1 I was thinking this is definitely Na'Vi, and then after Wildcard 1 then I thought we're definitely going to have ANZ in the semi-finals. So I think I just got to stop having any kind of expectation, because no matter what I think, it's going to get blown out.
Well, you know what, James? I'll give you around a minute or so to kind of get all that information in your head. In the meantime, we'll take a quick walk and a quick chat with my regular co-casters, Mr. Devin Emzo Becker. Please, there's been a lot of action here on Coastline. Can you help us break it down?
We're going to narrow down and focus on just one specific player and how important he was, especially to Coastline, to make this a 3-map series here. And that player's going to be Nello. And it's not just his ace we're talking about. We're talking about a lot of plays. For example, this situation, they were not in a good spot here. Yeah, they had 3 people, but you see how low their health is. It was not a tough spot against 2 higher health players. What does he do? Uses his secondary shotgun to open a position that they were not guarding, sneak in, get the plant down. You can see it already planted, helped guard it. Yes, they all died, but they won that round off of time because he was able to sneak in there and do that. And then, of course, the next clip I want to highlight, very important here. This is going to be his clutch play. He is down 1v4 situation. I mean, you look at this, 4 players here, decent amount of health. He's in a tough spot. Yeah, he's got most of his health, but he's also carrying the diffuser. He's got to deal with barbed wire, 2 sets, and everyone here positioned in great spots to counter him. This is a very, very tough spot to be in. He'd already gotten the only kill for his team that round. What does he do? Basically the ace clutch. He goes in a situation where he should have not had any favorable angles. You've got this player right here in a great spot to stop him. You've got the players playing that can come in through this doorway, fight him from there. Just heads up play, the adrenaline kicking in, and it absolutely works for multiple rounds. Takes out just 1 set of barbed wire, just enough, and then just goes for the ace to finish the round. That wasn't his only strong play. He was just on fire the whole time. Situation where they're not doing so great here. It's a 3v4. I mean, yes, 1 player's down, but not a great situation. What does he do? He just jumps on in, says, you know what? This is good enough. I'm going to go for the plant. Again, playing on the gridlock. Yes, Ethan's still here to be able to potentially stop him, but he trusts his teammates to do the thing that they need to do, because technically he's a support player, but he's getting his job done while those kills are going off here for the rest of his team, and that's what you need to do. Again, another plant going down to save the round. And lastly, this round here, it was a 2v3 situation, tough spot to be in. They have most of control of Hookah from the outside here in multiple spots, so what does he do? Immediately even things up and kills the player on the window from a tough spot. He's got to fight this long angle. He's not on a long angle operator. Takes him down. Eventually he dies, but that gives enough leeway for Citizen to be able to clutch the round up. And I know I don't pick MVPs, but so far for Coastline, for me, Nello was definitely my MVP. I think he really helped them win a lot of times. Of course, he had good support from the rest of his team as well. But hey, that's why we're on map 3 now.
Yeah, and it could show. I mean, the gridlock play was fantastic and was able to dive into every situation. Look at the first clip that you were showing with his ace, or second one, excuse me, and you're like, Why did you even push him at that point? Just the excitement of being...
I think that brought the team back too, for sure.
Very much so. Well, Devin, thank you very much as always. Thank you, Emzo, in chat. That's what we always look for. We'll be back to you in just a bit, maybe for a third map after. Who knows? That's up in the air. But we come back here to the analyst desk. Gentlemen, I've given you a couple minutes here to formulate your thoughts. Please, let's talk about Clubhouse and what you expect finally.
I think the swap we've seen Navi do is more than we often see. So going into Clubhouse, I think Navi's playing like we thought Navi was going to play now.
Yeah, and it harks back to the Pro League season I kind of briefly mentioned earlier. Navi played against G2. They were playing on Consulate. They were down against, looking down, it's not match point. I think it was, the enemy team was on 5 rounds. They lose one more round and their land chances were going down the toilet to G2. And they came back to win, I think it was about 5 consecutive rounds against G2, one of the best teams in the world. So even though, and it was, I mean, Doki himself said that they know they're quite an emotional team. And when they're in a downtrodden moment like that, that's when it's worse stuff. But you flip the momentum on its head, and that's where Navi runs away with it. They've already done it on map 2. Map 3, what I'm hoping for, round by round, everything fight for every single round.
You mentioned they're emotional, so I don't know what made them swap on Kafe. I don't know who did what or what the chat was, but someone flipped the switch. It sounds like one of those Fabian moments where he's screaming at them going, "Do you like losing?" And I guess they all agreed that it's not really their thing now.
Yeah, I think we can all blame Doki for that one, even though he's on the other side of the planet at the moment. But this is all final thoughts. Who do you think will take this one?
Navi.
If you're going to say Navi, you know what I got to say Wildcard. Stack the deck, boys.
You have to stay on their side. So there you go. The ANZ fans here are definitely very happy with it. But I guess we still have a couple minutes to kill here. So let's talk a bit more in detail about the operator bans, because, you know, Heartbreach is definitely important for this one. Maverick.
Yeah, as long as Maverick is in play, that wall gets open no matter what. There is close to nothing you can do to stop that, except for overly aggressive plays, and I don't think that's something Navi wants to.
It's not something that we see characteristic of either of these teams.
No.
A lot of APAC teams we've called aggressive in the past, and Wildcard stands apart from those teams. They're actually the methodical team in APAC. They're not the aggressive one. They're the one who plays with more chemistry. And more, they have structure, right? They're not about trying to take gunfights. That's not where they're most comfortable. Now, Clubhouse is such a rigid map in that you have really powerful operators like Maverick, like Capital, that just completely change the landscape of the entire map. Now, Wildcard are a team that has varied up a lot of their operator bans depending on which opponents they've been recently on this map. So I think from Navi's perspective, you're looking at thinking, what are we going to be coming up against? What kind of bans are Wildcard going to bring out? Makes it a little bit more difficult to predict when they've done anything from the Capital to the Maverick to even a Jackal occasionally.
And a lot will change depending on what the first attack ban is going to be. Because if your first ban is Mav, then maybe the Capital ban isn't that necessary. But because now you could ban a Thatcher and you could do Kaid from below.
Yeah.
That can't be naded away. If you cover the below area, well, then you have something to deal with it there. And the same for hatches if you're playing basement. But then if we start seeing, you know, a Kaid getting banned on defense, then everything evens out and you still have to find a complete new way to play that side.
Yeah, and that's specifically for servers. I mean, we've seen a lot of garage takes with the Monty in the past. It works for some teams, not so much for others.
Wildcard is a team that's actually experimented quite a bit with the Montaigne before. Occasionally we see Ethan jump on it. Now, he's not, it's not something I'd say characteristic of Wildcard. If you talk about Monty teams, I'm thinking more Airwolf, more FaZe. But that said, we're at a point where Wildcard, they've got nothing to lose. We've been saying that since the start. Why not bring out everything you've got?
I mean, at the point on Clubhouse, if you don't ban Lesion, then the Montaigne Garage isn't that terrifying, because removing all the goo mines just simply takes too long.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Seems like we have one person going for Navi, the other one for Wildcard. I guess, who knows who is picking what? I don't know. You can't see anything on the camera if you didn't watch. You just came into the stream. That's the guessing game you're playing at home. But we are ready to go for map number 3 in this series. It is Navi versus Wildcard. Clubhouse is our third map. Let's go, Hajime!
Thank you very much, Gassan and the boys on the desk. Thank you. We always appreciate you and all of your insight. So, it looks like we're going to be starting off. Hey, is that any surprise? Navi chose to start on defense on Club.
Whoa. Crazy.
Wow.
Blowing my expectations right out of the water.
Big shock, bud. Big shock.
I am a Maverick band.
Oh, my.
My goodness gracious. But guys, welcome back to our desk. It's myself, Stokes, and I'm joined by Flynn as always, or traditionally speaking for, lands like this. So, as we jump into map 3, guys, it's been a long journey so far in a game that no one thought was going to end up as serious as it has.
Yeah.
We've traded maps back and forth between these two teams, each one taking the other's respective map choice, and now we're down to Clubhouse. Flynn, how are you feeling about this?
Well, I mean, Navi's going to be starting, obviously, from a position of favor and strength. They're going to be starting on defense on Club. There's no Maverick. There's no Jackal. We're going to lose the Echo in the ban phase as well. I imagine a Mira, but we might get spicy with that in a minute. I think Navi's going to start this off. It really comes down to Wildcard being able to transition into the half, knowing they're going to be down at the half, most likely. We're going to lose the Mira anyway, so
figures.
Nothing inventive or creative here. But my big thing for Wildcard is to not get downtrodden on themselves and not feel deflated heading into the half. That's the big thing about these defensive-sided maps. Kafe, Clubhouse, Villa, maps like that where your rotation is going to suck on attack. It's going to be hard. You're going to lose some rounds. It's just the nature of the map and the nature of how good these teams are on the defense when they're given that advantage. It's one of those situations where you just cannot let yourself lose focus. You have to remain confident, poised, and energetic heading into that second half.
And that's the thing about Clubhouse. It's practically a baby Kafe. You're going to have the exact same issues on the offensive side. Granted, this is a little bit close to center as opposed to Kafe, which is right up around that 55% margin going towards the defense. This is right around 53. So obviously, it's still, very tiny. I know, I'm trying to get to my words.
You good there, bud?
Yeah, just had a stroke for a second, but it's fine. Anyway, this match is just so intense, I can't even talk. Gosh.
That's the thing. This match has been probably... I think this has blown everyone's expectations out of the water.
Oh, yeah. Everyone thought this was going to be a walk.
There's been so many spectacular individual efforts on both sides of the game. And for Wildcard here on the attack, they're going to be starting attacking downstairs. Navi will be defending the basement. Pretty typical lineup coming in. So we don't see the Jaeger ban. We saw that on Kafe, and that worked out somewhat. I mean, there was the grenade team kill in Cigar upstairs on Kafe.
You wish there was an ADS there.
You just wish that didn't happen at all. But honestly, for Wildcard here attacking towards the basement, I don't imagine Navi's going to be going for anything imaginative in terms of roaming. This is probably going to be 4 on site, 1 maybe flexing up blue or flexing up main stairs to apply some pressure, as we see Kendra doing right now. And then as soon as the heat gets too hot to handle, he's going to fall on back to site, and it'll be up to Wildcard to execute. And site executions for Wildcard, those have been pretty dreadful so far on the attacking side. Getting the opening picks, however, is still Navi's game. There goes Derpe or Hibana, and he's going to head to the top floor instead. Kendra not falling back and not backing down anytime soon. That's a big loss there and a big misplay for Wildcard.
Well, he knew Kendra was there. You can see the damage has been done, but obviously not enough to get the kill and trade. Wildcard not starting off on equal footing, going to be on a back foot for this round so far, but they're going for the typical take, clear out strip club, clear out top floor, pressure everyone to go downstairs, and then go for your execute. But the issue is now, though, they're losing so many people without trades. I mean, Citizen gets away with the bag with no damage done.
Well, opening picks continue to rain down for Navi. You still have to worry about Kendra upstairs inside of logistics, turning his attention towards the main stairs, but yeah, he's just killing time. Midway through the round here, Imran has him pinned. Doesn't have any rotations, doesn't have any options, so he's just gonna prone behind the desk and wait for drones to come at him and try and take another one with him if he can. But Ethan's drone's gonna bail down the main stairs. They've completely lost track of Kendra, and within the next 15-20 seconds, they're gonna run out of opportunities. They're just going to have to bail, and Kendra's gonna come in for a massive flank if they don't take care of them very soon.
Well, that's the thing. Kendra's playing this to a T. You don't have to do anything. You already have your picks. If you get another kill here, that's just icing on the cake. Look at how much time he's wasted. That's gonna be a double. Can he get the triple? He almost does. No, he does. Oh my God, Kendra. Diesel with the trade, but it's gonna be all for naught, Flynn. It's a 1 versus 4. You're Thermite. What are you possibly going to do?
there's not a lot here you can do. Na'Vi is not going to fall into the trap, and Diesel right now has basically no options. There's been no breaching done. He still has both of his exothermic charges, and the Hibana was the opening pick onto Derpe. So now for Na'Vi, it's sit back and wait, and for Wildcard here for Diesel, it's kill a little bit of time, let the team regroup, and try and get your picks where you can. He's going to drop down into Oil Pit. A wooden barricade will be a sound cue for all of Na'Vi to aggress upon him here. No long angles being held on top of these kill holes on top of the boxes by dummies. But again, yeah, Diesel's just killing some time here. And there goes the jump up. Na'Vi with nearly a flawless round. Only Kendra will fall, but he picked up 3 in the process. Beautiful work there for Na'Vi. I was wrong. The roam, really the difference maker on that round.
We both voiced concern early on before this map about how are you going to imbue Clubhouse with aggressive playstyle. It doesn't work out very, very often, but for Na'Vi it is. And from what we were able to gather from the separate perspectives that we were watching is that Wildcard's roam clear is just not there. They're going for a lot of solo plays, and what we saw from Na'Vi, especially on Coastline, they're pretty opted to shoot back. And right now it's working out for them. Wildcard needs to group up in order to clear this roam game. Kendrew with a very nice shot to the outside near Mud Tunnel.
Oh, that's where that pick was. I was going to say,
I thought he came in through strip.
I was going to say, why in the hell is Derpe trying to clear? But no, that makes a lot more sense. Kendrew is just
this was absolutely
having fun.
Oh, what a play by Kendrew as well. You can see he tried to go for the nitro cell. It didn't work out, but that always makes you a little hesitant when you hear a nitro cell just beeping. You go, where is this thing? I don't know what to do. So it might not have worked out for him to get a kill, but it definitely could have done its due diligence to throw Wildcard off just a little bit.
Well, Na'Vi gonna shake things up a little bit. Whether you go top floor or bottom floor in terms of CC or basement,
there's no castle.
There's no castle, but you're going gym bedroom as your secondary site. That is a bit of a swap. Honestly, you could pick your poison. Gym bedroom is usually the site that you lose more often than not on Clubhouse in the defense. But I mean, it's still a rotation you have to hit at some point.
Yeah.
Not a lot of teams have invested into the Flynn favorite of bar stock.
No, you need to stop with that.
No, I'm never going to stop.
That site is truly terrible. It's absolutely abysmal.
No, it's the best.
There's nothing I could possibly say inside of this map that I would rather play besides bar stock. It is absolutely terrible. But besides the point, Wildcard is more than likely going to be thrown off kilter just a little bit. They more than likely assume this is going to be a CCTV, but when it's Clubhouse, you practically bring the exact same operator lineup the entire time. And so far, they're going to echo that. Natus Vincere, though, going to shake things up a little bit. We were just talking about how there is no castle, and that's actually very, very weird as opposed to how this is traditionally held. Traditionally, you're going to have ADSs set up inside of gym, along with castle barricades in tandem in order to burn almost all of the secondary utility of the operators on the offensive side. It helps out a lot, because then all you have really is, well, maybe a frag grenade, a stun, and then your primary utility in order to go for that site execute.
I like the prioritization here of utility as well. It looked like Imaren was about to use an impact from the lifeline onto this exterior soft server wall, but instead they call Ethan over, get the skeleton key. You've got a lot of buckshots on that thing and not a lot to do with them really. You're opening up hatches onto the rooftop. You're not really going to get a lot of entry down below. It's a very risky proposition to try and enter in towards the bar with both the construction hatch to drop onto stage and the pool table hatch open. There's so many opportunities to be taken care of, and our first engagement looks like it's going to be Nello, and he's going to try and K-trick the wall.
You're going to need the thermite here. You guys heard the other duo of Kix and Atero talking about this earlier on, but the fuse timer on Hibana is a whole hell of a lot longer than the exothermic charges of thermite. So helps out a little bit when you're trying to get rid of some electro claws. Derp, though, actually going to win out on the other side as Citizen tries to rotate out, but immediately gets shot by the Type 89.
Yeah, Nello's droned out and spotted on top of this table inside of Cash, and again, his job is just to burn time, and you look at the clock right now, 60 seconds tick away against Wildcard, and they're still trying to contest with Nello. Citizen may have fallen there, but I don't know what, okay, Derpe's yelling about something. I don't know what he's yelling for, but I guess we're just going to keep on going for a minute. 45 on the clock, tick away against Wildcard as they have to adapt to whatever the hell's going on, and we'll ignore it for the time being. Saves with a punch hole now, looking in towards the construction window, as all of Na'Vi right now momentarily stalling out on the defense, but Wildcard not making any forward progression. The vault out through the window will be a sound cue again. Aim taken there from Kendrew as the diffuser's left on the roof right now. No one has possession of it, and there's only 23 seconds left.
Na'Vi is playing so slow here, and that's exactly what they need to do. Wildcard has that opening pick, but they have been so antsy about picking what side they want to go for. Pi now doing his due diligence to be able to shut down his take on the Jacuzzi wall. He sees another one, Kendrick attack on. Pi is in a battle for the widths of main stairs, but it's actually going to be the Jaeger that rotates in. They have bathroom control. It's the trades going back and forth, but Na'Vi comes out on top.
Again, just the time control here for Wildcard pretty poor, and honestly, Na'Vi doing a great job of killing this time. So it looks like we are going to go to some kind of technical
we're going to go to the tech
break here.
I believe that the issue is that Derp does not have audio in his headset. He was tapping his headset. I think that the box might have messed up there for just a second. So we'll have the refs get that sorted as we try and break down what happened across these last 2 rounds. So that last round in particular, they were going for a cash take, and it worked out for them for the most part initially. But the issue is now,
we'll join in.
Why
not? Get some claps going. You can see the whole right side of the audience right now. They're loving this. The left side of the audience does not care. Oh, there we go. Let's go, baby.
We're all about loud and proud.
Oh, this left side in front of us, though, does not care.
They don't know what's going on. They don't know what's going on.
They are not entertained. They are not in. They are not joining in the fun.
No, but overall, that cash take was working out. They were able to get the pick onto Citizen, but it looked like they were a little antsy to go in there and dig Nello out of his bunker. And once they shifted over, they did not have enough time to try and get a proper execute down. They didn't have logistic control. They tried to throw caution to the wind, hop in through Gym, pressure the Jacuzzi wall, and as we know how it typically goes when you don't have control of logistics, you get shot from bathroom, someone challenges you from logistics door, and you're more than likely going to lose the round because of it.
Well, right now here for Wildcard, like we said, attacking is going to be a nightmare on Clubhouse, as it often is, just like it is on Kafe, and we saw that demonstrated quite well. For Na'Vi right now, they seem to be enjoying themselves, obviously starting the clap chant, starting the surge of chanting and clapping from the audience.
As we know, traditionally speaking, if you have crowd support, you can do anything.
Honestly, it's a big momentum changer, and for both of these teams, you would think Wildcard would have a little bit of a home field advantage in terms of crowd support, but there's a lot of Na'Vi supporters. I've even seen some Na'Vi jerseys floating around the venue.
Maybe the left side is just Wildcard fans.
Maybe.
Could be a thing.
That would make sense considering they're lined up with Wildcard.
Hey, there you go. You got to sit in front of the team that you rep.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're confused why we haven't gotten back into the game right now, it currently stands at a 2-0 scoreline for Na'Vi on the defensive club. They've won the basement, they've won gym bedroom, but we still stand at a technical timeout. We got something going wrong, and the refs and the admins are still working hard to solve the issue. So it's most likely going to be a CCTV cash hold here, unless Na'Vi wants to employ the Flynn strap book. And I'd be really entertained to see a bar stock hold. The last time I called it out, though, and it got used on a game, it was G2 and Raleigh, and they lost the round. So I feel like I'm cursed whenever I see it, but if someone else does it while I'm not casting, then we'd be fine. For CCTV and cash, though, time control is still the issue for Wildcard, and honestly, it hasn't even had to do much with the site. First round, it's Kendra upstairs. Second round, it's cash. Nothing to do with the bomb site. Last time 2 teammates aced. I didn't get to read the end of it.
The last time 2 teammates aced in the same map was all the way back at the 6th Invitational with Necrox and Geo, 2 NA natives.
That's interesting.
Yeah, definitely interesting. Definitely will keep the information train rolling here. But if you guys are just joining us, we're casting over Natus Vincere versus Wildcard, which has been an absolute barn burner if you've not been up to date on social media or anything like that. I mean, for God's sakes, look at the top of your screen. They each have a map, and to make it even better, it's each other's maps that they have.
Yeah, map picks not really going the way we expected today. Coastline was a complete shutdown by Na'Vi. Wildcard jumped off to an early, massive advantage on Kafe. Na'Vi clawed their way back as best they could on Kafe, but unfortunately it ended just a little too short for them in terms of running it back and forcing overtime. We are, okay, the timer ticked down a little bit more, but we lost someone from the lobby, so we're still going to be taking a little bit longer here on the break. Yep. For the defense here for Na'Vi, I don't think you change anything. For Wildcard, I think they're getting too distracted with opposite ends of the map from the objective. Right now, they showed an innate ability, especially on Kafe, to hold flanks. And right now it looks like they're trying to entertain an entire roam clear on Club versus just holding a flank. And yeah, there's a lot of flanking possibilities on Club, especially when attacking towards the basement. But if you've shown in the past that you're much better at holding the flank instead of directly engaging with it, then let him sit upstairs. You know, he was just sitting behind a desk for 2 minutes looking to kill time after he got the opener. Let him sit up there and have someone dedicate either the dead guy, sit on the drone that's watching, it's not doing anything else, right?
Still got a job to do.
Hold the flank, or if you really feel like you need to, dedicate one of the living people who has utility that can help out with the rest of the push, close by, but holding the flank as well. It's... For Wildcard, I don't think entertaining the full roam clear right now is beneficial to them because they aren't winning their gunfights when they're going for the clear.
Yeah, no, it really seems to me that these last 2 rounds in particular, Wildcard just wanted the whole cake. You know, they wanted everything. They want cash, they want Jacuzzi, they want logistics. That really doesn't work inside of Siege. You have to really segment what you want. Do you want logistics to take Jacuzzi Wall? I mean, for that site in particular, logistics is extremely important. You can shut down construction. If you're gonna go for that cash clear, then yeah, take logistics, make it to where they can't rotate out. I think that the main issue right now is that they're not focused on one thing at a time, Flynn. They're just segmented too far from each other in order to get the job done.
Yeah, I think the split pushes really aren't helping all that much either. I think grouping up is a better idea. You can see, especially when they were attacking on that first round, trying to clear out Kendrew, the number of people that had to rotate off of a different job that they were trying to conduct off on the other side of the map. You know, it kills a lot of time just to rotate over to make sure you have someone close range to play the trade. At that point, I mean, you really got to start grouping up and really just ignoring the roam for the most part. Play the flank and try and hold back a little bit, because right now Navi's on a heater. They're not losing gunfights, and I don't remember when we got the 9 out of the last 11 round stat, but I'm sure Wildcard hasn't won many rounds, honestly, in the last 15 or so, to be honest. That's got to be pretty demoralizing, and like I said, you're going to be down at the half. Just try and limit the damage, and make sure you stay positive. This break as well is probably not going to help things.
No, not at all. I definitely agree with you on the damage control front. If you're able to limit that, then you'll obviously be able to keep your sanity more than likely going into the defensive half, and that's where your moneymaker is. That's where you need to rack up those rounds. Here's a round breakdown for you guys across the last 2 maps. Na'Vi showing up on Coastline in particular. Kafe just not their cup of tea today. We'll have to see if that could possibly change for tomorrow if they will be the victor overall on Clubhouse. But again, we are on the defensive side, so this is nothing out of the ordinary to start off 2-0.
Nope. And especially winning the gym defense, that gives more flexibility to Na'Vi to be able to set a clean sweep of rotation. If they get this CCTV cash defense when we get back underway, that's the 3-0 lead. Wildcard still has a tactical timeout in the back pocket. They can call it right after the next round, after this lengthy tech break. It's, again, something that could slow down the momentum of Na'Vi, but right now, it comes down to making sure that you're playing within an equal separation of one another to play trades, because you're not winning your initial gunfight, so you got to start taking 2v1s, because Na'Vi is leaving people on an island. There's one person going off and having some fun in the middle of nowhere, but you're only sending one person to try and handle it at a time. You need to start stacking up, because you're not winning your 1v1s right now.
Yeah, especially looking into the future right now for Wildcard. I mean, we already know what the next site's going to be. It's CCTV room. You're not going bar unless your name is Flynn. So CCTV is going to be obviously the defensive site, and since the offense has had so much trouble allocating the proper jobs to be handled in the proper order, it begs the question, what is their take going to be like for CCTV? Are they going to get the wall opened in proper timing? How's that garage control going to go? Will they later on have to shift over to a master and construction take? Those are all big questions, because overall, especially going to gym bedroom, that should be almost rudimentary to be able to take over.
Yep, and for the defensive side here for Na'Vi, you're well favored. For Wildcard, I kind of want to see more of that just that spice they had, even in the beginning of Coastline. You know, those rounds were very close, and especially on Kafe, where they seemed like they weren't as rigid, they weren't as structured. Dev's talking about how this is one of the more structured teams in APAC, and it's understandable, but when they were more flexible and a little less predictable on Kafe, that was when they were getting the rounds that they needed. It seems like, again, Navi's done the homework on Wildcard as they should heading in, and it doesn't look like Wildcard has done much to change what they've been implementing.
Well, we do have Dirt back in the lobby. That's a sign of at least some success so far on this tech pause, so hopefully things are getting fixed. More than likely checking audio right now, and then we will get things figured out and then jump right back underway. But overall, great showing by both of these teams. Again, just very impressive by Wildcard to keep things together and able to force this map 3, especially what they're showing on Kafe. And Flynn, I think that we filled for enough time, my friend. This game looks like it is going back in, and we just got it from production, ladies and gents. You guys can come back from the fridge, stop using the bathroom. We've got a game to cast.
Absolutely, getting back underway now. It still stands as a 2-0 lead here, as you can see from the giant monitors, and the crowd erupts. We get back underway. It's a 2-0 lead here for Na'Vi on the defensive club, and that definitely took the air out of the arena. That took the air out of the sails of both of these teams. Could be an opportunity for a mental reset for Wildcard. Could be an opportunity for Na'Vi to slip up and Wildcard take advantage. Or Wildcard might have been maybe a little more upset about the situation that they were dealing with. They might have some troubles to contend with. We'll have to wait and see how this round goes, but a lot of what we mentioned in that break still rings true. And for Na'Vi here, you're looking to go for your clean sweep and run it right on back, try and get the 6-0 in the first half.
Well, Na'Vi setting things up for CCTV now, and it seems to be, well, pretty standard. We are going to have an Evil Eye placed all the way over inside of Garage, which we don't see too often, but it's good for information game inside of Garage. Somebody can call out when he can possibly challenge from the catwalk. Could definitely help him out to win a couple of those gunfights, because that is going to be a hot spot for someone to win. And here's that statistic that we talked about earlier. That was off your guys' screens, but on our screens.
Thanks. Thanks, Black. Thank you, CGG. I got to read the whole thing this time, which is nice.
We appreciate you, Spencer.
So, pretty standard lineup coming out from Na'Vi that they haven't changed. They haven't altered a lot of their operators throughout the entirety of this map, or in this entire match, honestly. All 3 maps now, they have not seemed like they've wanted to swap a lot of operators. Kendra going to be attempting a bandit trick, and Ethan bringing the Capitao to try and counter that. Waiting for the window to get opened up, and I think he wants a teammate to do it, so the sound cue, obviously that para, very noticeable. Part of the wall is going to get opened up, and there goes the asphyxiating bolt. The nitro cell goes soaring, but it will not connect onto Ethan. Kendra's going to have to bail, and the wall is going to get opened up with relative ease here for Wildcard, waiting for runouts from the garage door, but none such will come. It's going to come down now to what Wildcard want to do. Do they want to transition for a construction take, or do they want to get Pi out of the rafters and push him through garage?
Very safe alternative to opening up the garage panel at the top right, then shooting the Capitao bolt from there, and a lot easier as well since it's at a distance, and now Capitao bolts have a drop off. If you guys did not know that, they do not travel straight anymore. They do have a drop off per distance, so that makes it a little bit easier for Ethan to always hit his mark. Now they have this panel open though, they're going to need the information game to come through to know where these gunfights need to happen. The main priority, take over garage.
Dirtbay on the Hibana is going to open up part of the wall that was reinforced facing into the rafters, and that means that Pi doesn't have a whole lot of options here. Prone and no real opportunity to stand back up, being pinged out now as he constantly prones back and forth against those flat panels on the rafters. Dirtbay gets off the angle, but Diesel will take down Citizen off screen and towards the bar. So it looks like that was your roamer that was looking to do a lot of damage for Na'Vi, and he'll be set to rest now as 48 seconds tick away on the clock. This is looking good for Wildcard.
Quite a bit of damage on Pi as he'll get burnt alive upstairs. Nowhere to go but up, and by up I mean the heavens. Wildcard now in the lead by 2 for the man advantage. Na'Vi trying to battle things back, make this a perfect rotation parameter, but Wildcard has other inklings in their mind as they shut down Kendra as well. It's left up to 2. They have the information on saves for cash as Toxic Babes continue to pour in. Only 17 seconds. This is definitely doable if they can find the man with the diffuser, which is going to be Diesel. But now they have garage control. Saves is going to have to get aggressive. He's out of those Toxic Babes. He's rotating in, but Nello's rotating away. Oh no! Saves takes down 1, but it's going to be an immediate rotate. He tries to go down for the nitro cell. Can he possibly get it? No, it's going to be the impacts, and it's not going to be enough. Oh no, Nello. He goes for the intelligent rotate, but it's not going to work out in his favor. And Na'Vi more than likely losing their first round on Clubhouse.
Yeah, it's down to Nello to do a little bit of damage control, maybe pad some stats and try and deflate the team of Wildcard. in terms of bringing this back to a closer round. But he's going to have to rip back up cash stairs here. He's breaking his own barbed wire to get rid of the sound cube. He's being shot from inside of the lower portions of Garage by Neofighter. All it takes is one shot from either weapon to dispatch of both of these operators doing battle. Killing a little bit more time here, but Neofighter will shut it down with a pistol in hand. We get back on track here for Wildcard, getting an attacking win back in the column. It's a good round there for Wildcard and good individual picks. Good pacing there as well, and a lot more objective focus instead of roam clearing that time from Wildcard. I love to see the adaptation.
Work the checklist, and that's exactly what they did. They got the garage control they needed. They quickly got the CCTV wall open. Some intelligent use with that Capital as well. That angle's actually pretty new to me. Usually we still see everyone rotate down to garage, use the Kairos pellets on the top right panel of the right-hand side of the garage, and then shoot it up through the window. Not this time around, and that's going to be two really good uses, actually, of Capital in the round.
Round there from everyone on Wildcard pushing through, and for Na'Vi there, again, you took a shot, going for that swing out from the pool table window, but ultimately it came down to that wall getting opened up so easy thanks to the presence of the Capital, opting not to ban it. Knowing they'd be starting on the defense, they instead take out the Maverick, which is understandable, and Wildcard, knowing that they would be starting on the attack, opt to get rid of the Jackal instead. Now with the roam presence that's been brought out from Na'Vi on both of the sites that they've won, maybe a Jackal ban has been the difference maker here that's really tripped up Wildcard. But on that round there, the Capital, it's too impressive. It's too oppressive, honestly. And right now for Na'Vi, they're gonna look to get back on track as themselves as they head downstairs on the defense. I like this idea. It really comes down to whether or not Kendra's gonna have the same kind of freedom.
I don't believe he is. You can see by how he's setting up the Valkyrie cameras that they're not going to be going for that aggressive roam game again. He's putting those Valkyrie cams inside of kitchen, a couple inside of bar. Don't have to worry about that area too much if you are on that roam game. So since they're going to be setting up for that info, you're more than likely going to be seeing a lot of explosives used down low to try and get those early frags inside of kitchen. And hopefully it's somebody important. That's what you always hope for when you go for those nitro cell kills.
You see the drone work coming out from Wildcard. A lot more focus paid to the top floors this time, waiting to find Kendrew. Where is he lurking? Where is he waiting? Instead, it's 5 on site right now for Na'Vi. No stretch, no press up blue stairs, no press up the main stairs. Nobody taking any chances right now for Na'Vi as they want to try and secure this lead and make sure they cushion it once again. They had the 2-round advantage pretty simply, honestly, starting off the map. Wildcard strikes back, and they're only one within tying it. And realistically, on the attacking side of Clubhouse, you're really only supposed to get 2 rounds. So they're 1 away from hitting their quota to at least maybe head us to an overtime scenario. Right now for Wildcard, they don't have to deal with the roam. Their breachers are left alive to actually conduct some breaching as opposed to the last time they attacked this bomb site. Much better situation coming out from Wildcard. But like I've mentioned a couple times now, their site executes have been pretty poor, and that's going to be the difference maker on Clubhouse. If no one's roaming, all you got to worry about is your site execute, but if that's been poor, Na'Vi are looking to take advantage.
Ethan, with some nice reconstructive surgery on the floor. That verticality is extremely important on this site inside of Clubhouse. You're able to control it the entire time. Lockers is not a safe place to be. You'll have to play over near AK or near boxes or dummies in order to have some safe haven. And if you're also getting pressured from blue, then you're more than likely going to die or have to abandon ship in some mud tunnels. So some good allocation so far from Na'Vi, but the timer is getting dangerously low, and they still have a lot of area that they need to cover.
My big concern right here is Nello on the Kaid. What is he opting to prioritize the Kaid electric claws for? Is it church wall, or is it going to be the hatches that have been primarily opened up? There's still 1 on the kitchen hatch. I don't know if he has a second one in the back pocket or not, but the Hibana X Kairos will ring it onto the church wall regardless. And it looks like they will not be impeded. Smoke's come pouring out of the back pocket now from Saves as he just tries to keep himself alive out of pure desperation. The flashbangs go pouring in for those prone holes made. Neofighter carrying the diffuser will drop into Moto as well, and Saves trying to battle out between a rock and a hard place, but he'll get down beyond his own deployable shield, and he'll be finished off now. Filling right back in his position will be Kendrew, though, and there he goes. A burst into church from Neo, and Wildcard looking to tie things up. The plant going down from Neofighter. Citizen trapped inside of blue. He'll take down 1 on the Diesel. The ping's coming out, but they'll be well late. The plant completed. Citizen with 2 now. Now with another one. Apex on. Oh my! The clean sweep. Retake by Na'Vi. 3-1.
If you're going to put all your eggs in one basket, you gotta put them in the black and yellow basket right now, because my Christ, is Na'Vi coming to play. We thought it was gonna be all in the bag for the likes of Wildcard. Stack the deck is what they've been saying, but that deck and House of Cards has been knocked over in that round. They had everything in the world they could possibly want to hold that down, that diffuser, Flynn, but the pre-fires come through for Na'Vi, and they just start stacking bodies in round 4. What an impressive retake. I was sitting here thinking, oh my God, they're just gonna let him into church. What is happening? We're just gonna get a free plant. They just have to hold it from main. This should be an equalization round right here. But it doesn't go their way, especially off of the back of Citizen's efforts.
Honestly, Citizen and Nello here on the round. Just beautiful work. 3 on the round for Nello, 2 on the round for Citizen. That's all she wrote. The clean sweep on the retake there. Just barely any damage taken from Navi's side either. There's a 3v5 on the retake in a post plant.
Who needs teammates?
Executed flawlessly. So once again, we're gonna have Na'Vi, instead of opting to go to CCTV and cash, that's the one bomb site they've lost so far. Again, they're gonna make their secondary bomb site on their second run through. Gonna be Jim Bedroom. What do you think? They changed it at the last second. Never mind, they're going back to CCTV.
Yeah, they're going back to CC.
It was Jim Bedroom before we launched the round, all right?
I was letting the brain process.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I almost had it. They changed it on me.
All right, well, going to be the same setup for Na'Vi, so Pi is going to be the one you have to worry about here if Wildcard is able to, make lightning strike twice on their CCTV take, which last time was extremely well executed. They were able to get the wall open very fast, still had 2 minutes on the board when that happened, and then they were able to just pace out, take over garage control, get Pi out of there, get a diffuser down. We almost had a heroic play come through from the likes of the Kaid, but it did not work out in the end as he just allocated his impacts to the wrong area on the floor.
Both hard breachers looking to, again, try and get this wall open with ease like they did last time around. And honestly, there was no struggle, but there's no Capitao this time from Wildcard. Possibly not expecting that they'd go back to CCTV and cash, and it seems like that might be the difference maker on the entirety of the round, as Kendra might have freedom to bandit trick this time instead of being forced off, but instead Kendra taking a lot of damage there. The wall's gonna get opened up all the same. So not needing the Capitao will be Wildcard, and honestly, doesn't look like they really were expecting to be attacking towards CCTV and cash, but they make the best of a poor situation.
Very intelligent play there from Wildcard. They used Imoren and used the Zofia trick through the drone hole with the concussion in order to stop the animation of putting the bandit battery down, which allows you to open up that wall, because obviously bandit is allowed to bandit trick anymore. You can usually counter that out by putting a barricade in between that section and then punching out the top of the barricade instead of the bottom, so that you do not get that proximity detonation from that concussion.
Drone coming in, and it looks like, again, Wildcard have also changed the strategy a little bit here. We got more of a construction take than we do a garage take right now, but realistically, Wildcard, they stormed the bomb site through the breach hole last time around. It worked out pretty well from them. And there goes, saves the hands of Ethan with that frag grenade. Goes soaring over the wall, and now the wall will be opened up. Kendrew down to the top of cash stairs as well. Citizen going for a flank, though. Up the cash stairs, looking to revive his teammate. Looks like it was more explosive damage that was the lethality there for Kendrew as he made his way into garage, but again, Citizen tripped up by the alteration as well. Wildcard going for that construction push. Looks like they're going to descend into cash momentarily.
They could be in some trouble, but Nello will be taken down by Imoren on the rappel. Citizen as well as Kendrew trying to rotate up cash stairs. He picked Kendrew up, who was bleeding out on the top of those cash stairs. They'll get droned out now. They need to get this diffuser down, and it's the likes of Diesel's hands, but Neophyte will continue to shove this round into their favor as he takes down Citizen. Kendrew on a very deep rotate as well. Diffuser still has not been allocated. They need to get it down. This could be a flawless round as Diesel starts the process, and it's going to be Derp to find Wildcard round 5, and that's going to be flawless.
Another strong strike back there onto CCTV and cash for Wildcard, and again, it comes off the back of being able to open up the CCTV exterior wall for essentially free. They do a lot of damage to Kendrew, the Bandit trying to trick the wall. It just doesn't really work out there for Na'Vi. So will they stick with the gym bedroom? Okay, yes, the clock hits 0. We're not going to
making sure this time.
Yep. We're going to head over to gym bedroom, and Kendrew initially selecting the castle. Will probably telegraph that to the side of Wildcard. And it doesn't look like he's going to be going for a 6-pick either, locking that in. And previous round there, again, Wildcard seemed to love to attack in towards CCTV and Cash. They've hit their quota. You're really only supposed to win 2. It's just the weird bomb site that they're winning it on that's working out for them. Could they even push this to a 3-3? Gym bedroom last time around, they stalled out towards the Cash push. If they swap that up and push over to the opposite side and just focus Jacuzzi and Master Bao with one person holding that server window, it could be an entirely different round for Wildcard.
Na'Vi so dominant on the other 2 sides, but it seems like they just can't find their mark on CCTV. Maybe they do need to take your advice and go to bar stock. But, I mean, for right now, it might be just a shift up in game plan. They're still more than likely going to be going into this at 4-2, which, as you said, is expected out of Clubhouse. But if not, we're going to be at that equalization of 3-3 in rounds. And Wildcard has been looking pretty good on offense. The big question mark is, though, how are they going to perform on defense? So far, Na'Vi has been able to show out, again, on those other 2 sites. CCTV just really not working out for them.
Well, despite what I was kind of hoping for here for Wildcard, looks like they're, again, going to be stacking pretty heavy for a Cash clear. My only point of advice, even though they can't hear me right now, would be to ramp things up. You got to get going faster. You cannot spend 2 minutes outside of Cash, not making any progression. Ethan, honestly, like I said, the ability to get into bar, precarious. The ability to get into stock, though, and breach underneath the man holding in Cash, that's almost free real estate. There shouldn't be anyone typically roaming over there. That's your entry point. That's what can honestly expedite the situation that Wildcard have been trying to deal with in terms of clearing out Cash. If he can get underneath, although it does look like there is actually someone down in the basement right now for Na'Vi, that would be a much better instigator for Wildcard.
I think that's a perfect word to describe what Wildcard needs to do. Expedite the process. And not only that, but choose the proper processes to expedite, because it continues down this reign of we're just doing too many things at once. We need to focus on one. Once we get that off the list, then we continue on. We don't have 5 people doing 5 separate things. We have 5 people working on 2 separate things. If Wildcard is able to channel that, then I could see this going to an equalization mark.
And that would be the best case scenario, honestly, if you're Wildcard. Being able to take it 3-3, considering how your site executes have been going. I mean, you could also make an argument that their attack downstairs the second time around into the basement in that post plant probably should have been a win for them as well. I mean, Wildcard are hanging toe-to-toe with Na'Vi through the entirety of this map to start things off. Again, it's focusing their efforts on one individual effort or one individual mission instead of trying to get caught up, like you said, with the individuality.
Well, a minute remaining for Wildcard to try and do something. They've been taking quite a while on clearing Cash, but Na'Vi not home inside of there. They set up some of the reinforcements, but not going to dedicate a body inside. And now Wildcard is going to be handling the west side of the map a little late here. Only 50 seconds, but they haven't even got Jacuzzi wall open. That's going to be the main priority, and that's what that exothermic charge going off in the distance is more than likely going to be opening. Yes, it will be Diesel over on Jacuzzi balcony. So now that they've gotten that handled, this is where the information game comes through. You have to figure out where these players are. That's going to be a free kill for Kendrew to start things off. And this execution happening so slow for Wildcard again. They need to try and ramp things up. Impact grenades pouring in now, but Na'Vi's got them shut down at every single corner. They've already knocked down the thermite as well, but it's going to be a trade as Ethan is able to trade things out inside a bathroom. Amorin continues to force it, but it's Wildcard waking up all of a sudden. They've already picked up the thermite as well, so it's going to be a 4 versus 2. Only 4 seconds remain. They need to be able to get a diffuser down. Who has it? It gets knocked out of his hands, and Na'Vi went around on time.
Unbelievable flank there. I'm pretty sure that was Citizen on the Bandit to swing around through construction. Nobody from Wildcard paying any attention to their back as they were more concerned with, I believe it was Pi on the Valkyrie on the main stairs and getting that plant down. unfortunate timing as he had just pushed into Jim, and all he really needed to do was get the plant down going in Jim behind the rest of the wall, but instead he looks towards construction, he exposes himself, the diffuser hits the ground, and in a 3v1 in favor of Wildcard, they still lose the round on time.
I'm just going to say one thing. Objective priority. They had none of it that time around. CCTV, they got the diffuser down almost every single time, if I can remember correctly. But going into this, you have the diffuser in your hands. There's only 4 seconds. You have to extend that. You guys have man advantage. You have everything in the world. And then you try and challenge in towards someone on construction door? I mean, it begs the question, Flynn, what are you really doing, buddy? You have to put that diffuser down.
It might have been a situation of the revive, because I don't think that was, I don't think it was Diesel that died there. I think it was someone else carrying the diffuser. So I think during the revive, after Diesel was down, the guy who picked him up accidentally picked up the diffuser, and nobody knew it. I'd have to run back the tape to be sure.
He had the diffuser, because when he died, no one else had it.
Yeah, so...
Either that or was sitting off in Narnia. That could also be a thing.
I'd have to run the tape back to be sure on that one, but that's just a miscommunication there for Wildcard and a missed opportunity to level things at 3-3. The good news is, like we said, though, throughout the entirety of that first half, that's your quota. You got 2. It's 4-2. That's your standard half break on club. Doesn't look like Navi is looking to slow down anytime soon, though. We're going to get a knock coming out from Citizen as well. 6 picking off of the Capitao. And here we go. Got the different ERC, the Hell Presence reduction all the way down main stairs. This could be Citizen making a clip in the making.
And Nook on land. He's going to have to wait for the Hell Presence reduction to come back, though. He's worked his way all the way downstairs. The issue is, though, that camera can see your feet if you're inside of that corner. So if someone's on it, he's going to be in a world of hurt. Pre-fires to run out of there after he gets marked by a cam that was in the hands of Wildcard's Mozzie.
Yeah, that was Diesel droning him down the main stairs, and there's another drone inside of Moto waiting for him. The shots will rattle off from that FMG-9, but it doesn't look like Citizen has got that clean entry that he was looking for. There's still a member, I think it's Neo, playing underneath the kitchen hatch, and Save's taking damage from over towards the dummy boxes. This is a lot of resistance being applied here from Wildcard to try and slow down Navi.
The turtle setup working out so far. Long angles with ACOG seems to be the name of the game, and it will bag them the first kill as Neo actually with the MPX instead. No cog needed, just get it with the 1X as he continues to force the opposition. Diesel to tack on as well with the Nitro Cell. Kendra trying to find one behind B3, but he can't. Derp's gonna fire back, and all of a sudden it's up to Nello poised on main stairs with nothing to do except probably cry that the round didn't go his way. But intelligent thing to do here, Flynn, use this as a timeout. Don't do anything. Just sit on main and talk it out.
Yeah, you still got your TAC timeout, your official one in the back pocket. Use this as an unofficial one. You're sitting on main, and look, they're talking it out, making sure that everyone is aware of A, what went wrong, B, what you need to focus on for the next round. This is looking very good here for Wildcard. Obviously, they split the half 4-2. The opportunity, honestly, came for them to be leading 4-2 after the first half, given those couple rounds they could have won. The diffuser's in dirt, so yeah, Nello's not going to move. We're going to let the timer expire on this one. Ethan, I think as well, he's poised to make a position as the drone's going to come up the main stairs as well, and it's going to force Nello to react. He's going to get back into the game, just try and stay alive a little bit longer for the rest of his teammates to continue talking things out.
Imagine he wins the round after this. That would be actually insane. I just sat on main stairs talking for practically an entire minute, and then I'm going to win out the round. No one's more than likely going to give him the time of day, though. 3 fires in towards lockers. Gets lit up, but more than likely someone rotating from up top. Yeah, it's going to be Ethan, who's currently poised by Moto Hatch. He's in behind the bar. Nello's going all the way upstairs, continuing to extend this time into the favor of Navi, where they can talk things out. But overall, going to be Wildcard's round, and really what else did you expect? Also, just to notate it, it's going to be flawless.
Yeah, it's a flawless round. It's kind of a letdown for the last minute there just because they were talking things out. And hey, it's fair game. You're more than well within the rules to be able to do that. So an unofficial tactical timeout taken there by Navi to try and regroup. That's the defense downstairs 1, though, mirroring what Navi did to start off the game. Wildcard looking also, yeah, to mirror what Navi did. Get those first 2 defenses, level things up at a 4-4, and then it's anyone's ball game. We're still getting a knock here from Citizen, though. No, there we go. We're not getting a knock from Citizen. He's going to 6-pick off to the Ash. Last time around, it was really just a stall out towards the base of the main stairs here, and Neo going massive underneath the kitchen hatch. In the depths of Armory there, no one really able to push him out, and he gets those 2 opening picks, and that was the difference maker on the round right there. All the momentum stopped dead for Na'Vi on the attack.
So fair play on both sides, especially for Na'Vi, just taking that unofficial tactical timeout like you were saying. Wildcard, again, they get to sit there and talk things out as well. They more than likely figured out that 30 seconds in after they didn't see him on any piece of information, that they're more than likely doing that. So Wildcard being able to talk things back and forth as well. This is always a two-way street when it comes to that kind of game. Wildcard now, though, going to be allocating themselves over to Gym Bedroom as well. So there's no CCTV hold to start off our second round for Wildcard's defensive set.
Yeah, mirroring each other, honestly, in their favor of bomb sites, and the way CCTV cache was going for Na'Vi, understandable. The way Gym Bedroom almost went for Na'Vi, though, that could have been a big game changer there for Wildcard had they not lost that diffuser earlier with 3 seconds left in the round. For Na'Vi on the attack, though, same kind of thing applies that we were talking to Wildcard about. Just limit your exposure and try and push as a unified force for one objective. The good thing is, though, that Na'Vi have been winning a lot more of their gunfights than Wildcard have for this entire series. So you might feel like you have a little bit of freedom to kind of run around. Citizen on Ash again, by the way. Yeah, that's nightmare fuel if you're Wildcard.
Yeah, he's going to be looking at you in your sleep more than likely for a couple of days here. But for the roster of Wildcard, Neo has been lighting the world on fire. And, I mean, it really begs the question on why Fnatic ever decided to drop that man. It might have just woken him up. I haven't seen him play with Fnatic for so long, I really couldn't even draw it back from memory as opposed to how he was doing near the tail end of that stint. But I can definitely tell you with Wildcard, he is here to play. Na'Vi, once again, going to be on the offensive side. Was unable to find too much on the last round, but now they're going to be attacking Gym Bedroom, which they're holding it relatively the same. The only weird thing that was seen overall, besides Citizen moving up main stairs right now, is that they have a reinforcements on both panels for Bathroom, as Ethan is misdroned inside of Strip Club.
Playing a little ring around the rosy around the edge of that stairwell there as Ethan will hunt Citizen all the way back up the main stairs. So again, Citizen trying to get cheeky in the last 2 rounds. You know, the knock trying to go immediately down the main stairs as Kendra will take down Imorin. So there goes your bandit. No possibility for a trick onto the bathroom wall anymore. But Citizen, you know, he's trying to start things off hot very early, and it's not really working out. It's well read by Wildcard thus far. So he'll be a rotting corpse there on the main stairs. Nello, though, will take down Diesel. There goes your smoke player as well. That's from outside. Not a well-advised peek there from the smoke. A beautiful shot from Nello, I presume. And you still got Neofighter, though, inside of CC, holding for the server window, waiting for anyone from Na'Vi to get onto the master balcony.
Wildcard's just getting too excited. They keep giving Na'Vi these freebies. They just keep trying to walk through the rotations. Na'Vi's already got him cut off. And then it allows you to bag a couple of kills and make things equal. Well, for all intents and purposes, this time around it's going to give Na'Vi the lead, at least on man count. 35 seconds, and they have plenty of time to get this diffuser down. It's going to be in Kendrew's hands. That's who you want to pay attention to. Where is he going to move? How are they going to set up to try and hold his angles? He's actually just going to plant fully inside of the bathroom. They're going to have to try and rotate in through logistics, but they have all the angles shut down. But no, he drops it, and all of a sudden 2 quick kills for Wildcard, and now Na'Vi have to try and battle back. Oh no, what a shot from Nello to shut him down on the window. Derp to pick up 1, and all of a sudden it's a 1v2 with 6 seconds. I don't believe he can possibly do it. They're both playing safe, and this is going to be a wild card round as they find the equalizer.
Back-to-back rounds for Wildcard on the defense. The fans appreciating that Wildcard's getting back in this game, and why wouldn't they? They're now on the defense. Like I said, head into that second half with your head held high. Make sure you do not get down on yourself. And for Na'Vi right now, I think Citizen is getting a little bit ahead of himself early on. That's causing some problems. Wildcard are definitely not innocent from making mistakes themselves. Diesel, I did not see where he got caught out from, but boy, oh boy, your smoke losing to a man outside on a rooftop, that is not what you want to have happen. The good news is, though, Wildcard still secure the round by Kendra trying to plant in front of an Evil Eye, and that was well repelled there for Wildcard. So we get back into things. We're going to CCTV and Cash to see if Wildcard can take the first lead here on Clubhouse. Oh, that was through a barricade. Never mind. I apologize, Diesel. Did not know. That's just tough.
You poor thing.
That's just honest. That's just tough.
That's the beauty of Siege. Sometimes you just shoot through a random wall and you're like, oh.
That's a kill.
That's a kill.
I'll take that.
Hey.
All right. I retract everything I said about Diesel. Just
It wasn't your fault, Diesel.
Stay a little bit safer. That's all I'll say.
All the soft walls are haunting me.
Yeah. Well, they're going to drop the smoke entirely now on the defense, and it looks like everyone right now for Wildcard looking to try and make it 3 in a row with the CCTV Cash defense. We'll see if they fare better than Na'Vi as they went 0 for 2 on this site. And honestly, if you're Wildcard, honestly, as long as you go 1 for 2 on this site, you're in a better position than Na'Vi was. Even if you don't win it here, if you can complete the rotation all the way down to the bitter end in round 12, you're still in the driver's seat of this match.
Yeah, Navi's been able to battle back from upset alert after that first map, but now, if Wildcard are able to complete this entire rotation of sites, it gets pretty dicey, because then what are you going to do? I mean, you know the setups already, but there's still going to be a very long road ahead of you. This time around, though, Nello to start us off instead, taking down Neo, who's been so effective throughout all of Clubhouse. He has the most frags out of anyone in the entire lobby.
Well, Citizen pushing in slowly through dirt as well, going for a basement clear, but knowing that Neo's down now, they should know that that's the roaming presence basically taken care of right now for Wildcard. You still have Imarin looking to try and trick, and as I say that, he's going to get ripped apart by the lifeline of saves. So CCTV and Cash seems to be a struggling point for both of these teams in the defense. Citizen doing battle with a prone Ethan underneath a door frame. As he's in behind these boxes, trying to go for the drone. Can he spot the side of the body? That little crack in between the boxes is shootable, but Nello will take down Diesel as well, and just missing the cross there. Citizen will escape with his life. The 5v2, Derpe trying to get aggressive onto the wall. It won't work out. It's a flawless round for Na'Vi to strike back fear into the hearts of Wildcard.
Wildcard not able to find the lead just yet. Continuing on this, well, troubled path of just being able to find that equalizer and then nothing coming from it. The only time that they've had the lead throughout this entire series so far, Flynn, was when they won Kafe all the way on map 1. That feels like ages ago. I'm pretty sure I've aged twice since we've been here.
Hey, it's been a hotly contested one. And that's a weird thing to say with a 7-1.
Yeah,
it still feels like a lengthy game.
Even that map, every single round, you're just like on the edge of your seat going, oh my God, what is happening?
That's the thing, though, with the rounds being so close, it does make it feel a lot longer. Yeah, just no chance there for Imarin trying to go for the bandit trick. CCTV Cash continues to plague these teams on the defense, and it's a I don't know, it's a weird setup. Usually your gym bedroom is your tougher one to win, but both of these teams well adept at taking care of their gym bedroom defenses, whether by a little bit of a throw from the attacking team or not.
And the thing is like they're not even doing the castle setup, which is what you always see to be able to bandit trick Jacuzzi wall. And they're just not doing it. Like, ah, we don't need it. It's fine.
Bandit tricking in general in this game has been shut down. That is ice cold right now. That is not a strategy that's going to offer you a whole lot. Looks like Wildcard, though, going for a bit of an extended roam here, where they're defending in the basement, but we're reinforcing the CC exterior wall. We've got rotates and kill holes made by Ethan upstairs. Neofighter is joining him, and it looks like Imarin as well is upstairs in the garage rafters. The first thing I see, if I'm Na'Vi, you rush dirt, you rush blue, you take over site and play for the retake.
They dedicated a lot of utility upstairs. If you guys were paying attention to Mozzie, he'd put 2 of his pests upstairs as well. So that entire mid-level as well as the basement, free reign for your drones to rotate through.
Well, it looks like Na'Vi, again, not going to take my advice, and I don't blame them. I'm not the one playing the game. They're going to actually entertain this roam clear right now. And honestly, the way they're shooting, I don't blame them. But for Wildcard, this is a perfect opportunity to, again, equalize and make sure you're killing time. That's the name of the game on Clubhouse and the defense is make sure you're burning that clock down to zeros and make sure there's not a lot of progression coming from the attacking side. Imarin's going to get droned out inside of the garage rafters. He's got plenty of rotation opportunities, and Nello doesn't have the greatest of angles towards him. He can only shoot through about half of those rafters, so as long as Imarin stays towards the ramp side of that rafter, he's still in a safe position, and it's going to take a pinch from Na'Vi to displace him from this nice little spot he's made.
They're going to need some support. Na'Vi needs to work together. That's one of the most effective. Don't try and give Wildcard those ones. That's how you start throwing rounds, and they are 1 round away from putting us on map and match point. It's exactly what they need. This drone play so far has been extremely effective. They've been able to get the information on the board that's needed in order to take over the sectors of the maps that they want. You need to get Kendrew inside as well as your other hard breach in order to dispatch these hatches and then start focusing on site. You're already halfway through the round. We haven't opened one just yet.
Nello still holding for rotations upstairs. It looks like Ethan has now gone up the cache stairs, and Maroon has abandoned his spot inside of the garage rafters, seemingly making his way back down as far as I know, but feet going to be exposed momentarily, but no shots are going to land from saves. Not a single one connecting onto, I believe that was Diesel downstairs as he peeked out into the hallway. 60 seconds now remain for Na'Vi, and they have not made a lot of progress in terms of hard breaching or opening up any of these soft hatches that have been made. They're left abandoned now by this defense. Hitting the Legion mines that are strewn across the map as well will continue to burn the clock on Navi's side.
Almost every single member of Wildcard is visible inside of the site. I don't believe we have a single roamer. No, they are all on site. Has to worry about blue now, though. Citizen got a goot mine in his foot. Could possibly get challenged as there's now 2 people occupying the space. Ethan to take down Nellos. They're continuing to fight for control. But did he end up killing himself? I think that he did. Was that a kill with the exothermic charge? What happened there? Seemed to be a blunder, but no, it's going to be trades going back and forth, and all of a sudden it just saves by himself to try and push this to map and match point. 15 seconds remain. No one's going to be taking this gunfight as he rotates into church. So this is going to be a wild card round, and all of a sudden we are equalized once again.
Turns the corner. He'll get one down for the trouble. He actually does collect the kill, but at the end of the day, it doesn't accomplish anything. An impactless frag, as Parker would like to say. So we draw even once again at a 5-5 scoreline. Oh boy, are we getting close to the bitter end here between Wildcard and Na'Vi. It's been an explosive match filled with upsets, filled with throws, filled with just energetic, explosive fireworks of rounds. And it all comes down to 2 rounds here in regulation and possibly 3 rounds in overtime. So Wildcard stands at a difficult spot. Na'Vi is going to take a tactical timeout, and I'm not really shocked by that. Wildcard stands at an interesting precipice. They're going to go to gym bedroom, apparently. They have it locked in for the moment, but they still have time on the clock. Okay, timer started ticking again, and then we're back to normal. So we're still on attack timeout here. You've won gym bedroom defense once, but you've lost CCTV cache. If you win your gym bedroom defense, you got to go cache or bar stock. If you lose this, you do get a chance to repeat, but all signs indicate we're going to overtime unless Wildcard can be the first team to actually get a CCTV cache win. That really does look, he did kill himself with a thermite charge. I was gonna say, it really does look like he just blew himself to hell.
Gotta know that timing better, Kendrick. Come on, my man.
Tried to rush in on it, and that just didn't work.
Glenn, do you know what Na'Vi and Wildcard's favorite playground piece is? It's the teeter-totter. That's what it is. That's what we're currently on right now. It's a vicious cycle. No one can possibly win CCTV.
It's such a bad show.
Everyone's extremely dominant across the board on every other site. So if we continue this, then we're more than likely going to OT. The good thing for Wildcard is right now, though, going into this, is that they're able to more than likely hit map and match point right now. The issue is then, though, you have to go to CCTV.
Well, the benefit for Wildcard, considering that Na'Vi won the most rounds out of maps 1 and 2, they got to pick starting side for regulation for map 3, in which they chose to start on defense. That means Wildcard got to pick starting side for overtime. I don't imagine a world in which they would have elected to take attack to start overtime.
Could you imagine?
So we're looking pretty solid here for possibly a Wildcard win. That is, if everything follows the trend. Na'Vi can still piece together 2 attacking rounds right here and right now and shut us all up and send themselves to the semifinals. But Wildcard still well in this game.
Yeah, it's very difficult to call at this point, and I think that the best description is what we used all the way back on map 1. It's just blow for blow, punch for punch. You really can't choose a winner just yet. No one's had such domination that was stringed together through rounds on this map. The only map that we saw those really happen were the first 2. Specifically, the second one on Coastline where Na'Vi just took the reins and never let up.
So again, we worry about the balcony presence, and we worry about how much investment Na'Vi is going to put into the clear on the far side, and it looks like we might be finally falling away from that cache clear. EMP will come out. Stun canisters not necessary, as the drone will confirm there's no bandit close. Citizen going to burst on in through the breach. He dealing with some electricity from the bathroom wall, but he's going to get rid of that evil eye and push right on into Jim, looking for any feet through these kill holes. The drone's coming through, not spotting anyone inside of Master, and Citizen has full entry, rushing in towards the bathroom. Oh, but he gets shut down by Ethan, and there it goes. Wildcard looking to put us on match point themselves.
Well, they have the jacuzzi wall open. Rest of Na'Vi now pouring in through the hole. EMPs onto the roof to try and get rid of some of these ADSs, as well as the bandit batteries that were on the bathroom room wall. They need to try and get this wall open to dig Amorin out of his bunker. They still have plenty of presence across the map, though. That was really just everything in a bag, throw it at the wall, hope that it sticks, and Na'Vi definitely not on the winning end. And this could change all of this into Wildcard's favor. Stuns pour in, but they have to commit. You can't burn all that utility and not go. By with the first kill, Derp's gonna bag the second. It's gonna be a trade. Can he get the transfer? No, he can't. Neo to win it out. Wildcard still with man advantage, but that doesn't mean Pie and Saves can't bring it back. It's only one man, but the issue is now, though, Neo's still alive, and he's Legion. You can put Goom mines everywhere, and Nathan's already transferred downstairs. As soon as Pie stands up, he's gonna have a bullet placed in his head.
Trying to push in to get that gym control, just any kind of sight control. Saves the man carrying the diffuser will push him, but he's last man standing, and he will fall. Neo Fighter will put Wildcard on the brink of one of the biggest upsets, and it looks like Wildcard are going to take a tactical timeout of their own to regroup and finally possibly be the first team to win CCTV cash defense.
Along with that tactical timeout, there's something that's been used for a very, very long time inside of sports and esports, and it's called icing. You know exactly what that is, obviously. You want to put the other team on ice, make them think about the task in front of them. It's something you often see with kickers in American football. Make them think about it. They could get inside of their own head. You might as well do it now, as well as work on what you want to do and how you want to change things up for CCTV, because not a single team has been able to make it close on this bomb site just yet. We haven't had that much of a change inside of operator lineup. Obviously, you still have to hold down Garage. They could possibly try for some aggressive runouts from Master, but when it's obviously on match point, you're probably not going to be allocating yourselves to that. You might play for a Garage hold a little bit more aggressive, play somebody down low, something along those lines could definitely be in the cards.
Well, for Wildcard here, you got to feel the pressure. You got to feel the burn right now of possibly being the team to upset Na'Vi. Na'Vi, of course, headed into the half, up 4-2. For Wildcard, a great run of the defensive stance so far. It all comes down to this one defense if they want to win it in regulation. Should they follow the trend and lose this on defense, we head to overtime, where they will most likely begin on defense. We don't know for sure that they chose to start on defense. They had the choice, we know that much. But we go to CC Cash. One more round for Wildcard for ANZ to possibly have a new champion right now and a new front runner for ANZ Siege. Wildcard looking to dethrone maybe Fnatic's position in terms of their results in the last few tournaments.
Well, they are going to be bringing the Kayi. They're not bringing the Bandit, so we could see a little bit of a change up in what the game plan is. Obviously reinforcing the garage panels, but that's standard. That doesn't show any signs of a major adjustment just yet. Going to dedicate some barbed wire downstairs as well, and it seems to be everything's in order for a standard setup for CCTV. Flynn, we have ADSs up on catwalk, putting Evil Eyes up to be able to look out towards balcony. That's all you really want when you're going to be holding down this site. But the issue is now, though, Wildcard has to win out on the trade game, which no one's been able to do. Can they hold down Garage? That's been the main focus of both of these teams on the CCTV attack.
Oof. Nice little parkour there from Derpe as he gets the Evil Eye up inside of the rafters. My big concern, though, is right now for Na'Vi, it's Citizen. He's run cold on the entries. I think he's 0 for 3 for the last 3 rounds, and he's tried to go for those extremely aggressive and solo quick entries that just have not been working out. But there goes the wall getting opened up, and no rush through this time from Kendrew. They did not manage to either Kaid trick or mute trick that wall. It's a tough look again here for Wildcard, as being able to stall that wall has not been a reality for either team on the defense.
Well, the thing is now for Na'Vi is just don't mess it up. You already have the wall open so early on. Do the checklist, stick to the game plan, because if you guys don't, Wildcard will do something crazy, and all of a sudden you're going to be going home on a plane with your heads held pretty low.
Well, there goes the Evil Eye watching in towards Cash, so that's limited intel, else they have a Mozzie drone hidden underneath one of those server racks in terms of knowing when a plant will be coming down. They still have Rafters control. It doesn't look like Na'Vi have any intentions just yet in terms of transitioning to a construction push. So this is going to be wall, and this is going to be garage, and they're going to have to handle this by clearing out Derpe from inside of the Rafters. Yeah, it's a pretty hard task. No Capitao to do such, but Citizen's going to slowly push into that garage breach directly underneath of Derpe now. Worrying about that Evil Eye that's up there as well. The flashbangs will burn out the ADSs and momentarily blind Derpe. Almost exposed here as Pi just cannot reach it. Looks like that Evil Eye stayed intact, but the flashbangs come raining through. Only a minute left and they'll partially blind Citizen, but they'll blind Derpe as well. He's just firing for all he's worth, but Pi will get the kill. They all burst into garage and they have the Rafters control.
So very dangerous. Citizens taking quite a bit of damage as well. Pi on low HP, but they get the man out of garage that they needed. They needed to get Darp out of that catwalk in order to put a diffuser down, but they don't have any more smoke grenades or really any utility in order to blind the opposition in order to go for this. Wildcard can always rotate underneath as well. Diffuser's in Kendrew's hands, but Pi's gonna go for the double. He goes for the challenge. He's gonna continue to force it. They're trying to get back to site. The Nitro Cell comes out. Can he possibly get the kill there? No, it sticks to the top. Are we going to OT? Neo gets one from outside as they're trying to battle for map control, but they have all of garage. It looks like Na'Vi's round, but this could be the kill that they need. They need to open things up, and no, it's gonna be saves. Neo Fighter challenging back through. Can he win it? No, he can't, and Na'Vi gonna be forcing us to OT.
It's a best of 3 rounds to decide who goes to the semifinals. Let me tell you, I don't think there's a lot of people out there expecting we'd be in this scenario. Map 3, gonna go all the way the distance into extra time. 12 rounds was not enough to decide a victor on map 3. We're gonna need more, and I did predict correctly. We have Wildcard on defense. No more tactical timeouts in either team's back pocket. They've both utilized one in heading into round 12 and heading into round 11. Nice shot there from Pi as well in the long angle onto Emerin, and as well Nello. Just beautiful work from everyone on Na'Vi. And again, CCTV cash defense plagues both of these teams. But will someone finally come out on top and turn the tides in terms of the attacks on Club?
That's the big question. It has to happen in order for Natus Vincere to win this game, Flynn. Because if they're not able to win a defensive round, it's all over. You need to make your statement here. We have a shift up for Wildcard. They're throwing caution to the wind, Flynn. It's going to be a roam game, my friend. They're bringing the Maestro, or excuse me, they're bringing reinforcements upstairs. They're bringing the Vigil, and most importantly, they're bringing Mozzie with his pests in order to steal away drones from that offense and make it even harder to clear. Are they going to go directly towards site? You called for that last time. You said, look, if you know the roam game's going to come through heavy, just attack through blue and attack through dirt. You're able to pinch onto the box area and AK area of lockers. That's all you need in order to be able to get a diffuser down.
Well, that's the thing, is Na'Vi have looked so good in retake situations, whether they've been playing into the retake or playing the retake themselves. They've looked so incredibly strong in that position that I wonder why they wouldn't want to invest for it. But it's also one of those situations where, like I said, Citizen has been trying to get those quick entries constantly, and they've been failing him constantly. Right now for Wildcard, you got to be ready to react quickly, though, because Saves is already inside a kitchen looking down through these kill holes. He spots one, and there goes Diesel. That means there's only one man left on site.
That's a huge pick. This roam game not working out for Wildcard. It should be all hands on deck. You need to rotate back, but now the issue is that Na'Vi seem poised to be able to shut down these rotations. And if they are, then Na'Vi is going to break this vicious cycle. They have the Nomad. That's a big change, being able to put those air jabs up to shut down these rotates back to site.
Talk about a team being able to win a defense on CC. Can a team win an attack on any other bomb site other than CC? It's been 4 for 4 basement, 4 for 4 gym bedroom. The impacts come flying up to the floorboards as part of the hatch was opened up by Pi, but the impact tricking doing enough to displace some of those X-Kairos pellets to leave it just a hole. You can't drop down. There's a flank coming down now down the cache stairs.
Intense play here between these two. Citizen has the air jab set up for someone rotating down Cash. You can feel that nervous knot in your gut, folks, as we continue to break up the flooring inside of Kitchen. This next peak is going to be everything they need. Kendra shuts down Derp. What a shot from Pi! Oh my God! They're trying to do it, ladies and gents. Emo is dead. Is this going to be a perfect round? He rotates it, but they can't get it. Natus Vincere break the vicious cycle.
They get that attacking round and they put themselves now on match point and series point. Semifinals on the horizon. Gig with a sigh of relief there, and a little bit of a smile breaks for most of the roster of Na'Vi as they feel it. You can see all of them now. They know it's so close. All they need is one defense. But Na'Vi just broke the trend. It now requires Wildcard to mirror it once again to win the attack towards the basement. Na'Vi heading to Church and Arsenal. They're going to take a castle, and they're going to 6-pick off of it to a Valkyrie to fake it.
This entire game, Flynn, is on a knife's edge. You can feel it in your body. You can feel it in your soul. Can Na'Vi pull a rabbit out of a hat when they are down going into overtime? They did not get to choose defense. The other team did. Wildcard was the one who was allocated there. They go downstairs. You flawless round them on their defense, which no one's been able to even get around on the entire map. And now Na'Vi are the ones with the gun in their hand. Can they pull the trigger? Can they make it to semifinals? Wildcard has a long road ahead of them. They have to battle through this round, which they've not been able to do throughout the entire series so far, in order to bring this back, in order to have a chance to not go home.
10 seconds to go.
Whoever does come away victorious in these last maybe round, possibly 2 rounds remaining, they'll head up against the victor of Ninjas in Pajamas versus Team Reciprocity tomorrow for the semifinals. And it looks like Na'Vi is trying to lock in that ticket to play the winner of NIP versus Rec in our last game today. On the attack though, Wildcard haven't given up at any point, even when the analyst desk told them to. They're not looking to give up anytime soon. So pushing in, they'll be attacking in towards the basement. Don't have the Capitao, thankfully, as they weren't anticipating CC Cash being a likely scenario for Na'Vi to take. Again, there's not much of a roam coming out from Na'Vi, so Kendra goes for that first round roam. It really confuses and messes with Wildcard. But the last time they pushed onto this defense when Wildcard was attacking, they had the plant down, they had the 5v3, but they lost to a flawless retake by Na'Vi.
I mean, that take by Na'Vi was just so articulate. It was almost insane how well they were able to break down what Wildcard wanted to do. They read them like a book, Flynn. They knew they were going for the roam game. They bring the Nomad, and they're able to shut down everything that Wildcard was doing. But the issue is now, though, Wildcard has to follow suit. They have to go through this exact same motion in order to be able to battle back. Na'Vi going to be playing downstairs, and it's going to be a turtle setup, unlike what Wildcard was doing, where they had that roam game heavily placed upstairs. Wildcard cannot ignore this. They have to take these gunfights.
I mean, how could you not want to bunker up in this kind of situation? Na'Vi feeling it that they are inches away. Got a pre-placed nitro cell onto the kitchen floor, waiting for an entry from possibly Diesel, as Derpe's X-Kairos have always been allocated towards the church wall to make these prone holes. Drone coming into Church, and Kendra very wary to not do any team damage. No mistakes right now. There goes the nitro, but it won't connect. Diesel looking to burn out any ADSs in towards the main hallway. Maybe for Ethan to try and drop a frag grenade in, as you got 2 members playing close to that double door on Church.
Na'Vi still poised inside of sight. Wildcard has a lot to do still with only a minute remaining. Not a single tick of damage done to anyone as Derp's last stun grenade pours into Church. Now allocating themselves over towards the church wall with these X-Kairos. Citizens still battling for blue control. They have the smoke grenades, but Nello's going to be down. Save's going to smoke again and then go for the pickup as he smoked off both possible entry points. An aggressive take here from Citizen, but he immediately gets shut down. It's traded. This round isn't going the way that it wants to, as Kendrew also bites the bullet. It's going to be a quick take through, though. Wildcard battling back. It's all up to Pi. It's a substitute for Na'Vi to shut it down. Neo's putting the diffuser down. Can he possibly burn him alive? No, he can't find the angle as it will get planted. And we're going to max OT more than likely unless Pi does something incredible here with this Alda. We've seen it done before with this exact same weapon in hand. But no! Wildcard gonna force it to max here on Clubhouse.
7-7. We gotta go the distance on Club to decide a winner here. It looked like Na'Vi had it in the bag. They won an attacking round onto a site that no one had won this entire map, and then Wildcard run it right on back, mirroring exactly. We're going the distance. Wildcard have the advantage on defense. It looks like they're going to gym and bedroom. It all comes down to the next 3 minutes and 45 seconds.
Can Na'Vi make lightning strike twice? That's the big question. A flawless round on their first attack inside of OT. You thought they had it in the bags. They had the game by the balls, Flynn, but then they let go. There was no chance in hell that they were getting through with that. The gunfights just did not fall their way. Na'Vi has been so incredible so far throughout this game, but this time around, at least in that round, Wildcard had the hot hand.
That round right there, that's all Dirtbag.
Absolutely.
Going for the entry in, getting both kills with the Bearing 9. An APAC team has never been able to beat an EU team in Pro League Finals events before. Could we see the very first time in history? Obviously, we have a lot of new teams here. No matter who wins the entire event, we will crown a new Pro League champion. But could it be one of the biggest upsets in only our second game of our quarterfinals? Wildcard on the defense defending gym and bedroom to try and lock it out and send themselves with a date to the winner between Rec and Nip.
And the beauty of this matchup, Flynn, is that we're only halfway through the day, my friend. We're only halfway there. Truly incredible stuff coming out, and everyone at home, we know the rally games weren't the best, but this should definitely suffice for it, because my God, what a game so far.
So again, Na'Vi going for an almost identical take they utilized the last time. Good news is, though, Citizen isn't pushing in and losing that quick entry. Honestly, it could have been an entirely different round if Citizen had won that battle against Imorin, the bandit inside of the bathroom. But now for Wildcard, all you have to do now is kill 2 minutes and 13 seconds to move on to the semifinals. The drone's coming in from Na'Vi again, identifying that this is a very similar setup from the last time around. The difference, though, Citizen on the Nomad, that was a big difference maker as well. The last time they attacked towards the basement in the first round of overtime, being able to cut down rotations. Wildcard really like to play that slippery play style. It'll be up to Na'Vi to try and quell that.
Now they have opened everything that they possibly need. They have Jacuzzi, but now they need the entry frags. Wildcard, if they misstep, one kill could mean everything. Impacts now opening up the top as Kendra tries to get bathroom open. This is extremely important. Concussion's going to pour in, and that stops him. Oren, oh my God! Nello and Citizen Neofighter on the flank. He needs to find another to equalize. He pre-fires, but it's still going to be in Navi's control. Pi's already passed away, but Kendra is still a hard destructor. They need to try and get the diffuser down now, though. They know Neofighter's off-site. Kendra is trying to open things up to try and get this diffuser down inside of Waits, getting rid of it with concussion grenades. They have the bathroom control for rotates inside of construction. Citizen still playing outside as well. As you can see, everybody and their brother is locked out, and Citizen gonna continue to drive it home. He's gonna continue to drive it home. That's a triple kill. It's all out of Morin, but it doesn't even matter. Na'Vi, max OT. They blow the house down. Wildcard, what a fantastic showing, but it won't be enough.
Na'Vi pushed to the brink, but they prevail victorious, and you gotta give it up to Wildcard for one hell of a performance, one hell of an underdog game. For them to push it to round 15 on Clubhouse on map number 3, they took Navi's map straight away from them, and they were down at the half, and they pushed themselves up to the 6-5, but they fall inches short. If you're Wildcard, you walk home, you go back to Australia with your heads held extremely high. immense amounts of pride for Wildcard and their representation of all of APAC and ANZ specifically here in Tokoname. For Na'Vi, a nail-biter, but you persevere. Na'Vi will face the winner of Rec versus NIP. That game will be the last one today.
I have to echo you on that. You cannot go home sad about this matchup.
No.
You did everyone inside of this building, everyone at home, your parents, all of that proud. What an incredible game, Flynn. I mean, my Christ, man, I'm sweating bullets over here and I didn't even play.
That was probably the best match. You know what, I don't want to say it's the best match we'll see, because that's selling the rest of the game short, right? This was everything you ever could have possibly asked for and more. Wildcard putting up an incredible performance, but now we have an interview. Matt, take it away on the stage.
Thanks very much, guys. Yes, we have another semi-finalist. It's Na'Vi! Eventually. Wow. What a finals weekend we are enjoying, and there's so much more of it to come as well, and we're going to see some more from you guys. So that was 3 maps, overtime, final rounds. Nello, there was there's a very small gap between you being up here talking now and you applauding Wildcard being up here instead. Was that the game you prepared for?
I mean, on 7-7, the only thing that goes through my mind is DreamHack Valencia against Giants. And we basically just said we don't want to lose this round, and we didn't lose it, so that's basically it.
Having lost in a situation like that before, I guess there's fire in the belly. You know that one hurt.
Yes, definitely.
So, you take out Wildcard, take out the APAC region, but of course there's a lot of eyes on you, and you were really the favorites for that game. You're #1, Europe. Now that is a big position to hold. That's, Empire territory, G2 territory, the #1 in Europe. Everybody thinks, well, that's a huge team to be wary of, but it wasn't expected this season. Let's be honest. Everybody thought, oh, Pro League champions Empire, they're going to come out on top of this thing. You're here. Those teams aren't. Can you tell us why it's worked so well this season?
I mean, we are new in Pro League, so this is our first season in Pro League. We said our first goal was to stay in Pro League, but of course we're aiming for top 2. And game by game, somehow it happened. Even we lost Doki midway on the second half. Basically, yeah, we just grinded a lot. We just grinded a lot from nobody to here, and it worked out.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people didn't see you coming. We know in the UK that you're 2-time ESL UK Premiership champions. Now you're top of EU. And you said your objective was just to stay in the Pro League. You're now in the top 4 of the finals.
It's crazy. It's actually crazy. But we are aiming to be the first, and we are going to do our best to lift the trophy. So.
One more thing I want to ask you. You managed to get this amazing and very big crowd here in Japan on your side. Despite not being the APAC team, there was a bit of this going on from behind the desk. Crowd with you, and that's sort of a thing that you'll thrive on.
Yes, I started it for fun, and it's actually unbelievable. So thank you, everybody. It's actually, I'm having so much fun at the moment, and on stage, playing in front of a crowd like this, it's amazing experience.
So this is really relaxed for you then? You're fine here, you're just like, I'm enjoying myself, and we'll just play with the crowd a bit.
I mean, it's my first time, why not?
Why not? Anything you want to say to the fans who helped you win?
Basically, much love, guys. We wouldn't be here without you, so you've been basically everything to us, and support that we are getting from everywhere, it's hyping us up, so keep going.
Are you the new Empire?
We don't need to be Empire, we are Na'Vi.
There it is. They may well be Pro League champions tomorrow night as well, one step at a time. The semi-finals are yours, Na'Vi!